We addicted to fast cars, bad bras, late nights, last calls, alcohol, bad just scrolling through the phone log, hit 'em up, all my pick 'em up. We bout to have a time tonight. Sure you keep that burner tuck, cause niggas like you creep low. Say motherfuck the PO and the judge. But if they come with us, just know it's love. I'm saying just because. Yeah. Cause we been coming from welfare, Medi-Cal, healthcare, living in the hood is hell here, hell yeah. I'm saying just because. Love. I watched my mama and my daddy struggle with the bottle. I watched my cousins and my brother banged out full throttle. Driver's seat, we bout that action, we ain't sitting idle. And even when they melanated, still a rival. I ain't about killing, but I'm about survival. And we be praying to the Lord, but still ain't read the Bible. And put that pedal to the floor with a savage title. Hope we don't crash out. Shawty out, seeking attention, she got that out.
What is freezing? Does he know you using that? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shu Shu. I am one half of the show, Shu Shu, and this is my lovely brother, Mandrell. How are you, Mandrell? What's going on?
All right.
See how my intros are so much nicer than yours? You know what I'm saying? I don't be like, I am Showtime. I am the start of the show. He is just here. He just showed up.
Everybody says that you to start the show anyway. What does it matter what I think?
I am Showtime. He just showed up. He just part of the help. Yeah,
everyone in the chat is gonna agree with that.
No,
like literally all of them. They
no,
yeah, they are.
No.
They're gonna all agree with it.
People show up to see you too, Mandrell.
No, they do not.
Yes,
no,
they do.
Not.
Stop it. You stop it.
Okay, if you think so. If people show up to see me, they tune into my new YouTube channel.
But that's because you don't promote enough.
I do.
Like you think putting a logo in the background is enough? Like it just looked like a logo.
But I do. Like, I do. Jesus, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Yeah, they forgive me. I'm not feeling well, like at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what's wrong with me. I'm not feeling well. Like when I can admit it and say it out loud.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
Oh, you ain't got the COVID, do you?
No, I'm thinking about going to the emergency room after this.
Huh?
Thinking about going to the emergency room after this for real.
Oh, really? You got migraine?
Word up, yeah, man. Need one of them shots. I took the medicine twice.
It's not working.
It's still blasting.
Oh,
and
wow.
plus, I took 2 Excedrin migraine and 2 aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the migraine medicine twice.
Okay. Well, I mean, why didn't you say that? Like, we could have just like.
It feels like someone is trying to hammer their way out of my head from the inside.
Okay.
No, we can go to the show though. I mean, yeah, I'm here. Everybody else is coming up. I think Andre Terry's here. Let's see if Andre's here. He just messed it up. Now I got to do the show. Andre showed up. Andre Terry.
Well, we just won't make it a long stream then. If you feel.
Well, we got to make our point.
Of course.
You have to make a point. You know what I'm saying? If you don't make the point, then what's the point of the show?
Yeah. But health is wealth, you know? So
it is. Like you see my Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see some people flipping the tires and all that stuff. Yeah. So this is big ass tire at the gym I go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 700 pounds. Everyone keeps asking me, how heavy is that tire you keep flipping? Like I had that question too. And then we finally actually had it weighed. I think 700 pounds, man. It's like 703 pounds or something like that. I just say it's 700. It's like 703 pounds, and I'm flipping this thing over and over. So I just left. I did a reel today on Instagram. I was like, it's 700 pounds. Yes, mm-hmm. Really. Now stop asking me.
So right. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get into the show.
Today was leg day, Shu.
Oh, really?
Mm,
Did you drink enough water?
Because
it's been like super hot.
It is without the heat index, it was 95 degrees.
Right. Yeah.
So the heat index, man, it's 110.
Right. Well, luckily, I don't know what's going on with us, but like it's we getting a little breeze in the air, so it hadn't been so hot for us.
That's because you're in New York City, boss.
Yeah, and I ain't mad at it, and neither am I complaining. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the chat. Everybody in the chat, thank y'all for coming through. We appreciate you guys as always. Andre Terry, what's going on? Thank you, brother, for coming through. We appreciate you for being here. Blackman, Unfiltered, shout out to you. And thank you for allowing us to have this show on your platform. As always, we love and appreciate you. Robert Whitfield, hello, how are you?
Whitfield?
Huh?
Who's Robert Whitfield?
He is a watcher of the show.
Oh, hello, Robert Whitfield. How are you? I've never heard of you.
Yeah, welcome. Dre Blanco, shout out to you. What's going on, Dre? Thank you for rolling through. Vaughn Bryant, how are you, Vaughn? Peace and blessings.
And Harris Trap Media says New York City, the best city ever. 100%.
That's right.
That's right. Here's the thing about that statement. It is, but not in the best way.
Oh, Lord.
It is the best city ever, but not in the best way. I love it because of the chaos. That place is anarchy incarnate. Oh, my God.
Of course you do.
I can just go and get in as many fights as I want to up there.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can. Just look.
Yeah.
Hey.
And over the smallest thing.
Man, nothing. I just look at someone. Well, so you want to fight?
Yeah.
You want to fight? Yeah.
Yeah. You get a fight with a homeless man because you ain't give him enough change.
Right. That's the part that messes them up. When they ask you want to fight, you say, yeah. You want to fight? What you stand? You want to fight? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
You look at that face like,
throw them hands up, though. You ready to throw them hands up? Beautifully Animated Speaks. What's going on, BAS? Thanks for coming through, sis. We love you as always. Canadian-born Nigerian Black David, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Corey Haga, how are you? Thank you for coming through. Am I saying it right? Haga or Haga? I'm so sorry.
What's your Blackman Unfiltered? Where's the unsolicited security boss? She watches our show like once every 3 months.
Hey, she's a busy woman. Okay, so
too busy to watch our show.
And you never know; she might catch the playback.
She might. That's true. That's a good point. She might.
Don't sleep. Who else we got in the building? Harris Tribe Media Group. What's going on? Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. We love and appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming through. T. Ricklesby. Shout out to you. What's going on? Thank you for being here.
Wait,
Dr. Eugene Steele.
Yeah. Exactly. I want to talk about Dr. Steele here for a minute. He has a comment there.
What?
I find disturbing. Dr. Steele says, I love the big cities. New York is one of my dream vacation. Dr. Steele, does that statement implies that you've never been to New York City?
No. If there is, New York does have like some really nice places. But
what I'm saying is it implies that he's never been in New York in all his time.
No, that's not true. Listen, you got places you go and then places that you don't go.
I'm wondering why Dr. Steele ain't been in New York City yet. I'm wondering why. Like, why? What you been doing with your life, man? Like, take a week. Look, buy a plane ticket now. Go ahead and put your time in. Take about a week. Go there and see the sights. Hang around Manhattan. Don't go on the wrong side of Brooklyn. That's fucked up. The Bronx, just stay away from that. You don't need to see that. You really don't. You really don't, man. In fact, just stay in Manhattan, Dr. Steele, for your first visit.
Right.
First visit, just stay on.
Go downtown Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn is cool.
Yeah, well, it's been gentrified.
That's it's cool.
White women have taken it over.
Lord, people stop it.
Yeah, they
Williamsburg is pretty dope too. It's very artsy though. Like that's.
It looks like white women took it over.
Hippie people are.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Right. You said just hippie people. Yeah, white girls.
He's not lying. He's not lying. I had to come out and for the third time he told the truth.
Yeah. Even Mr. Harris said he ain't lied yet. 100%.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Yeah.
Harris Trap Media. Or is it Mrs. Harris? It's one of them. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's wild to see. Like from back in the day, the way that place, all of Brooklyn used to look. Then you see this one big ass portion of it now. It's like, what the hell happened here?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? This is so different.
But we'll go ahead and get into the topic of the evening. Are we wired to cheat? It's funny because there has been a debate before, is monogamy natural? And, some people will argue it's natural for women, but it's not natural for men. Some people will argue that monogamy is just not natural at all for either gender. And that's what we're going to get into tonight. Now. What's your answer?
Monogamy is a choice, baby girl. Just like 99.999% of the things we do in life. It's a choice. You choose to be monogamous or you choose not to be. End of story. Good show. Good night, everybody.
You know what? I'm done with you. No, we're going to go through these videos. And speaking of videos, admin, can you please queue up the first video? Is monogamy.
Make sure it's full screen, please. Yeah, there you go.
Monogamy is natural. Adultery is natural too. Neither are part of the supernatural. But I don't think people really understand monogamy. Mono means one, and gamy means spouse, one spouse. Polygyny, poly means many, gyne means women, many women. We are an animal that forms pair bonds. We are basically monogamous. We're also adulterous. I think we've evolved what I call a dual human reproductive strategy, a tremendous drive to fall in love and pair up and rear our children as a team of two, and a predisposition, some people, of restlessness, an inclination to be adulterous. And we tend to be an animal that, a creature that forms a pair bond for a period of time, breaks that pair bond, and forms a new pair bond. Serial monogamy and clandestine adultery. So when did monogamy evolve? I think it evolved over 4.4 million years ago when our ancestors were coming down out of the trees. 97% of mammals do not pair up to rear their young. Elephants couldn't be bothered, giraffes couldn't be bothered, gorillas form a harem, people form pair bonds. Everywhere in the world, the vast majority of people have one partner at a time. Even in societies where a man can have a harem, polygyny, only about 5 to 10% of men actually get enough cows or goats or money or education or some other sort of status to win a group of women. A woman will not be the second wife of a poor man, only if the perquisites outweigh the costs. I think human pair bonding evolved millions of years ago, along with this brain circuitry for romantic love and for deep attachment to a partner. I think it evolved for an ecological reason. Our ancestors were forced down from the trees by 8, 7, 6 million years ago. They had to begin to walk on two legs over very dangerous open grasslands, and at that point they began to stand up on 2 feet instead of 4, to carry weapons and to carry tools and to carry food back to a place where they could eat unmolested by predators. And with the beginning of walking on 2 legs instead of 4, females began to have to carry their babies in their arms instead of on their backs. And if I were to give every woman in the world a 20-pound bowling ball to carry around for the next 4 years, and also try to carry sticks and stones and collect fruit and vegetables and run from lions, etc.,
oh no, it froze. So to finish her sentence, she was like, if I had to carry a bowling ball around and while trying to run away from lions and also have to gather food and etc., I'd look for a mate to help me out too. Just saying. That is a lot of work.
Hey,
But
where the world set up these days, you got women saying, "Oh, we don't." You got women who want to be single mothers. Why would you want to take on that kind of a task all on your own? I don't. I really. It's something I don't understand.
mhm,
I don't get the argument there.
mhm.
What she said makes sense. Like, why would you want to do that all on your own?
Right, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, I don't. It doesn't make sense to do it on your own. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not logical.
Right.
The child is in a far better position to be more well-rounded.
Mhm,
Um, if the child is in a healthy environment, the parents are responsible for that, providing a healthy environment for the child. Um, so that's something I aspire to do.
mhm,
That should be the main focus between the two when it comes to the child. Make sure the environment the child is in safe. The relationship between the mother and the father or stepfather or father figure is stable. You don't argue in front of the child. You don't
mhm,
scream and yell at each other. You
mhm.
know, yeah. Overall, I don't understand the point. Like women say, they play videos. Blackman and Filters play videos of it. A woman says, "I want to be a single mother, and I'm not gonna let the father." And I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate though, she did say 97% of the animals in the animal kingdom don't pair up to raise their children.
Yeah, but that's a different. Like they live by different rules than we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there, it really is survival of the fittest.
Right.
It really is. I mean, either you're gonna make it or you're not. There's no safety net.
Right.
And largely, honestly, if you look at most of the world is like that. It's something America. Like you people really have no idea how bad it can be. You're complaining about America.
Right.
You ain't been nowhere. They ain't been nowhere there, yo, Shamaria.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. What do you think about her saying that, people are monogamous, naturally monogamous, but we're also adulterous too? Like that's
It goes back to what I said earlier. Monogamy and what was the other one?
And adultery, like being
Adultery.
adulterous.
Yeah, that's right. Monogamy and adultery. That's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's only natural for you to make choice. Choice is natural.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you make a choice about is natural, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Eugene Steele. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, keep in mind that humans have feelings and emotions. Those feelings and emotions can drive somebody to stay loyal or cheat. And that's very true.
Animals have feelings and emotions, Dr. Steele. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me my cat doesn't have feelings and emotions. I've seen my cat get jealous.
Yeah, animals do get jealous.
I've seen my cat get jealous. Ask my sister when she comes over to visit.
Yeah.
There are times where my cat, she will be jealous and she'll come sit right next to me and look at Shu. Just stare Shu down.
She get jealous. You better tell her next time I come over there, she better find her ass some wings before I throw her out the window. Let me quit. So anyway,
I'm saying, right.
Like, let me stop.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. I'm just no animal cruelty. Okay.
With animals, it's different. Like their prime directive. Because here's the thing: because of human beings and the things that we do, we created ranged weapons, firearms.
Right.
I think they're more, and I think people don't give animals enough credit. I think animals know that. And so they're more driven to spread their seed with as many females as they possibly can to carry on, to perpetuate the species. Mm-hmm. See, people don't give nature enough credit.
Right, yeah.
You should respect nature and always respect animals.
Right.
All life has value.
Right, that's true. That's true. But it brings me, and shout out to World Class, because I know he did a stream when he was talking about like monogamy and if it's natural or not, and he had some very interesting information that he was like sharing on his.
I bet he did. What did he say? He's Team Shu Shu all the way.
Of course. How can he not be?
Look, he makes it a point to remind me.
Oh Lord,
that he's Team Shu Shu.
Right. It's interesting that when we bring up this topic,
and also shout out to Dr. Nakumbi.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Nakumbi. How are you? I see you two in the chat. How are you?
Corey Hager.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him one of these.
Okay. I shouted out Corey Hager in the beginning of the show. You missed that?
Miss what?
Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, I think the interesting thing is we look more, we break down what's more societal conditioning versus what's biological, because a lot of times in these conversations, because we don't really understand like human behavior, and especially when it comes to sex, sexuality, all drive, desire, and like last week we talked about the difference between what is a drive and what is like desire. And a lot of this stuff we weren't taught, we never had real conversations about. So a lot of it is just more what we get from what society says a woman's supposed to be, or a woman's supposed to move, how a man's supposed to be, how a man's supposed to move. And with that being said, we're going to move on to the next video. This next video, I think the men would find very interesting. So admin, play video 2, please.
Was when we decided that men had to be monogamous too. Men were not monogamous for all of recorded human history. Men had concubines and whores. And 60 years ago, straight relationships began to become more egalitarian, and it was less of a property transaction. A marriage had been a property transaction for most of recorded human history. And it became a union of two equals. And at that moment, instead of deciding to allow women to have the same sort of freedom and leeway that men did, we decided to let men have the same limitations, impose the same limitations that women had. And we put monogamous sexual commitment at the heart of all relationships, all long-term commitments, all marriages. And we have watched, we should now be able to recognize the consequences of that, which are a lot of short-term relationships, a lot of divorce, because monogamy is ridiculous and people aren't any good at it. They're not wired for it. We didn't evolve to be. It's not natural. And it places a tremendous strain on our marriages and our long-term commitments to expect them to be effortlessly monogamous. Because what we've said is, if you're in love, you won't want to have sex with anybody else. And what we need to tell people is that if you're in love, you can make a monogamous commitment and you will refrain from having sex with other people, but you will still desperately want to fuck the shit out of other people. But people understand love means I don't want to fuck other people because of these misconceptions pumped into people's heads about romance and love and what it means. And so they meet somebody else that they're attracted to, and they're attracted to this other person. They go, well, I must not be in love with my partner anymore, otherwise I wouldn't be attracted to this person. Or they feel threatened when their partners are attracted to other people, as if, it makes them feel insecure. And we just need to get past that. And we talk about monogamy the way we talk about virginity, that you're monogamous until you fuck somebody else, and then you ruined it. You popped your monogamy hymen and destroyed your monogamous relationship. We need to talk about monogamy the way we talk about sobriety, which you can be monogamous and fall off the wagon and then sober back up. You can monogamous back up and get back on the wagon. And the truth of the matter is that if you're with somebody for 40, 50 years and they only cheated on you a few times, they were good at being monogamous. Not bad at being monogamous, they were good at it. So I do think there needs to be some leeway. And a lot of really good, loving relationships are destroyed because somebody wants a little variety or isn't getting a need met and feels they have to step out, and it explodes the relationship. I'm conservative. I think that we should do what we can to preserve marriages and long-term relationships. And one way to do that is to encourage people to have more realistic attitudes about sexual exclusivity.
What do you think?
Arrogant, lazy, and
It
weak.
ain't
Weak.
It ain't no duty to get that booty. Like, man, come on, babe. Okay, you know what?
What somebody said is true.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a firm believer that if you're committed, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. And I do believe that I agree that people have to understand what they get themselves into when they make a commitment, and really be honest with themselves and say, hey, okay, if I'm going to be committed, I'm committing to these things, right?
Right. Yep.
These are the barriers that I'm committing to stay within.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ever allow yourself to go past those barriers. It's just, this shit ain't hard. I've never understood why it was so hard to stay monogamous. I've never in my life got that. I just why would you dealing with one of you women, regardless of your race, is enough trouble. I don't care what race you are, black, white, Asian. I don't care. You're a woman. It's enough to deal with. Okay.
Right.
Why would I ever want to deal with more than one of you?
Right.
Like you got too much time on your hands. You ain't busy enough. Go find something to do, man. Go find something to do. I'm just saying. I don't have time for, but I have time for one woman in my life. That's it. That's all I want. I want one. I just want one.
Right. Well, here's the thing about that. Like, I mean, it is true. Just because you're in a committed relationship doesn't mean that you're not attracted to other people. It doesn't turn off your desire to like sleep with somebody else. It's a matter of, you know, you being true to your commitment. And you know, the whole thing about, okay, and I understand his analogy. He was saying, like, you know, we think about monogamy in terms of like we relate it the same way we think about virginity. Okay, if I slip up one time, okay, now my monogamy behind me is broken, and
we should
I can never get it back
in terms of sobriety. You know what? Maybe I will forgive the real Precious for coming in here and complimenting you on the shirt.
Oh, hey, Precious, how you doing? What you
she
say?
fell off the wagon.
Thank you.
Right. It said nothing to me. You know what I'm
saying? I'm so done.
She could have said nice logo or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just nothing. There's Mandrell. Hey, Shu Shu, love that color on you, girl.
Oh, Lord.
See, that sisterhood thing.
You know she got love for you too. Don't do that.
Does she?
And shout out to Nightish too in the building. I see you.
You know what? Listen, people say that, but notice no one invites me on their show. I have had like no invites except Sir Hill and Blackman Unfiltered. That's how this show came to be.
Oh, wow.
And people ask me, how are you so loyal to Blackman Unfiltered? That's why.
Here you go. Anyway, Corey
Plus,
says
he's a good man. He's a good man.
Committed,
you know?
A man that can't stay committed shows. Can you bring that back up, admin? A man that can't stay committed shows. Wait, what? I think he said like shows weakness.
Yeah, I don't know what.
That's true.
Who left the? It is weakness.
Oh, his weakness, i.e., immoral lust. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's true. Now, Precious, don't try to clean it up. Anyway, like I was saying, it is true, but some of what he said, like I said, but the whole thing about thinking about a sobriety, that's a different outlook on it. It is, but people have to understand that there's some people who are just not going for it, myself included. I'm not going for that. If I could be monogamous for like, years on end.
Because, like, let's just be honest, like, for years, especially, like, in the olden days, like, traditional society, women, for the most part, thought about that in terms of their husbands and their relationships. And a lot of that was for economic reasons. But my question would be, if we could, if people did adopt that ideology, and this is specifically for the men, could you have that same grace or that same leeway for your wife?
That's the problem. Like male ego,
right?
Male ego gets in the way of that.
The expectation is that women should give that grace to their men, but the question is, can men give that grace and that leeway to them?
Yeah, most of the time we can't, to be honest.
Right.
But here's the thing. That's why I just don't cheat. I don't even have to go through all of that. I want as little drama in my relationships as possible. Listen, I don't feel like arguing with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to yell at you. I don't want you yelling at me. Why don't we just let me snuggle or make love or something? I mean, let's go to the movies, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's go for a walk. Let's find something else to do, other than argue. I don't understand this.
Right.
If you know what your lady doesn't like, fellas, why would you think go do that?
Right.
Just dumb. And greedy and weak.
Yeah.
Most of you niggas are weak.
Oh Lord.
Just being honest. Look, listen, all the guys you dated, how many of them were not weak?
I mean, it weak to what? Because we got weaknesses in different areas.
Oh, here we go.
No, they got strengths. Hey, listen, we all got strengths and we all have weaknesses.
Really?
So
Okay.
they were strong in some areas,
Right.
and then
I can count on one hand.
I'm not gonna take that away.
Out of all the guys you've ever dated, I can count on one hand how many I would be like, you know what, I give her away to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can count on one hand, and I'm probably not gonna go past two.
Right. So anyway,
Let's see.
So monogamy we understand that that's one relationship dynamic, but there's also polyamory, polygamy, and a couple other different lifestyles. And so our next video is going to discuss a little bit about whether monogamy is actually better for our society or not. So admin, cue up video 3, please.
Polyamory is going to be the next sexual minority rights movement. Currently, of course, marriage is defined in strictly monogamous terms, and there are some polyamorous who say that this is unjust and that their relationships should be legally acknowledged in the same way that monogamous people's relationships are acknowledged. But I think that there is a risk of rejecting the monogamous model. Proponents of polyamory would say that in our species history, the most common mating model has been the polygynous model. So when you have one male having multiple female partners, that's about 80% of cultures on the anthropological record have been polygynous. And then the remaining 20% have been monogamous. The monogamous model is the unusual one. We now have very different material conditions in all sorts of ways. We have the pill. We have ways of treating sexually transmitted diseases. We have technologies like the internet, and therefore, why should we be beholden to the mating structures of the past? This is a brave new world with all sorts of new possibilities. I think the problem with that defense of polyamory is that it overestimates the extent to which we are really capable of controlling our Stone Age brains. Our brains have not kept pace with the technological change that we've seen. We still are basically adapted to the lives of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. That puts a fairly hard limit on the extent to which we can completely design utopia on the back of an envelope. People are free to experiment with all sorts of mating patterns, including polyamory. For some individuals, that's good. In terms of the whole society, though, women and children in particular, the monogamous system is much preferable for all of its flaws.
Monogamous America waits for the answer to the question, how many wives?
Monogamy makes societies more stable, more peaceable, more prosperous. You can compare this quite directly by looking at certain countries which have both monogamous and polygynous systems operating in tandem, and you can see that there are these differences. Households with multiple wives are much more prone to conflict. Stepchildren in particular are much more vulnerable to abuse by their step-parents. It's a phenomenon that evolutionary biologists call the Cinderella effect, described by Steven Pinker as the single greatest risk factor in child abuse ever identified.
So what do you think about that? I know she was saying polygamy is gonna be like the next big, I guess, like
it already has seeped out there. I mean, you got more and more of these retards out there talking about they want a polyamorous relationship, but they can't handle it. You got guys talking about they want more than one wife, but you can't afford them. Hey, fellas, right. Newsflash, you got to take care of them women.
No, but why should we have to give them money? Why should it be all about money?
You obligated yourself to marry a woman, 2 women, but you don't want to take care of them, don't want to give them money. Well, guess what? Women cost resources, fellas. It just is what it is. Families cost resources. It simply isn't. You by yourself cost resources. You're taking on another person. What makes you think that doesn't cost more resources? Whether you complain about it?
Right, yeah.
It's not her fault that you didn't think this through.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let's just be honest, most men have a problem dealing with one woman, and you talking about having multiple. Like, That's a lot.
Like I said, I only need one.
It's I think just like women have our fantasies and our ideals about what a relationship should be and all this other stuff, men have theirs too. Men have theirs too. Like the whole idea or like this fantasy of having multiple women and all this other stuff, like it's not really what it's all cracked up to be.
It's
like,
not. It's not.
Where, it even like this whole idea that what's up, Lost in Translation? He said if you have more than one wife, you really don't have a
good one. Well, Lost in Translations, I think the Mormons would have something to say about that. Okay, and that's from the Church, okay, of Latter-day Saints. And that's right, people. And you can read more about it in the Bible.
Oh Lord. Anyway,
I'm just saying. Listen, people pick and choose. You know full well people pick and choose when it comes to that book. But I tell people all the time, if you actually were forced to live by the New Testament, which is the Christian Bible, you would hate life. If people were forced to, they would hate life.
Right. Yeah.
They would, because I mean it's actually rather strict. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen to this. Look at this one. Even him, especially him, he'd be locked up.
Is satanic.
Right. He'd be locked
It's not. It's not. I think another example. I think in this particular video where she was saying how monogamy it does bring about a more stable environment, not just for the relationship, for the family, for the children, for everything. And whereas like in polygamous or like even polyamory households, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of conflict going on. And the bottom line is this, like jealousy is going to set in at some point because somebody somewhere is going to feel like they're not getting enough or they're neglected or something. The bottom line, because
the thing, what they're leaving out is human beings are possessive. We're not necessarily we're not even myself, as easygoing as I am, you know what I'm saying? And as much free reign as I give the people I date, you know what I'm saying? I'm still territorial. Yeah. I'm not jealous like at all. No other guy makes me jealous. I mean, I'm not jealous. I'm not, you know, threatened by some other dude. And if she chooses to leave me for another guy, so what? It's her choice. Bye. Okay. But people tend to get possessive and territorial. I'm territorial. You know what I'm saying? I don't want some other dude sniffing around in my get the fuck off my yard.
Women territorial too. Now
women are too. Like that's just my attitude. Get the fuck off my yard. You ain't coming over my house cutting the grass.
Right.
You ain't washing my dishes. Okay. No.
They can't wash the dishes.
You get your ass kicked for something like that, man. That's my house. It's my responsibility.
Everybody saying that's your house. You know what I mean? They just can't wash it after themselves.
It's different if it's a family member or something like that, or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? That's different. You know, it's totally different. But you know, I don't run from responsibility. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's my responsibility. It's a thing with me. I don't know what it is. Not entirely sure where it came from. Maybe I should talk about that in therapy, huh? But man, just figure out where this came from. And this super sense of loyalty that came from the Army. But I was loyal before the Army, though. I was that type before I joined the Army. It's just the Army just exacerbated it to the nth degree. If I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you, and that's not breaking,
right?
At all, you know. So I just don't get this whole thing, this whole polygamy thing. Yeah, someone's gonna get possessive, someone's gonna get jealous. It's human nature. Yeah. So if monogamy was not natural, okay, and polyamory is the natural way to go, the world class, why is it that people are okay with it for a short term, but once the fun runs out,
right,
you now get upset at the whole notion of the whole thing.
And part of what makes monogamy a natural part of us is because of the pair bonds that we form, and like we form attachments,
we do, and we can't, and like other animals, we can't imprint on other people.
Right. And that's just like, and that's not just in relationships. You think about it, like, even though everybody knows death is a part of life, like everybody has to go one day. But like when our relatives pass on, like our mother, especially our parents, when they pass on, it's like so hard for people to let go. But the bottom line is that's a part of, it's a part of the life cycle. It's a part of the process. You have to let them go. Hey, Sir Hale, what's going on? Sir Hale's building.
And shout out to Sugar Bum. What's
yeah, Sugar Bum, what's going on?
Yeah. You gotta love Sugar Bum, man. That is the number one troll.
I'm pretty sure.
That is the number one troll of all of Black YouTube.
Okay.
She has earned that title in spades.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Shout out to Quantum Dean of the Metaphysics. What up, girl?
Oh, what's going on? Hey, Quantum Dean of Metaphysics. How you doing?
FBA. Shout out to you, sir.
What's going on? Oh.
Yeah, and the World Class says that the Army is one of the most unmonogamous places on Earth. That is correct. That is one of the reasons why I decided not to get married to anyone or have a serious relationship with anyone while I was in the Army.
Right.
In my profession, with what I was doing, I didn't know a single guy who hadn't been divorced 3 to 4 times.
Wow.
Every single one of them had been divorced like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, what's the point then?
Right. Maybe I don't know.
It's just we were deployed so much. Like I was going when y'all didn't even know it. I'd call you up, and then I'd call home. Remember, I would call home, and the only one who picked up on something wasn't right was you.
Right. Yeah.
Mama, daddy, just like, yeah, man, you all right? Yeah, cool.
Right. Yeah.
You start asking questions.
Right.
Hey, where are you right now? Oh,
right.
Greg. Well, why does the caller ID say?
Right. Nah, you ask too many questions. Don't no. Just
stop asking questions.
Ask questions. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay then. You say so.
Right.
She has always been the sweet one, people. If you hadn't noticed, she is. I give her credit for that. I give her credit. She always been cotton candy, lemonade, and rainbows. You know, but here's the thing: she bites like a king cobra.
What's going on, JC?
You get on her bad side, people. She bites like a king cobra.
Okay.
Just because she is sweet. Don't think it's sweet.
Right. Anyway, we're not going to go on and on doting on me. We're going to carry on with the conversation. Because we have 2 more videos, and then we're going to drop the link. Because I'm more than willing. I'm more than ready to hear some of the conversation about.
Who's coming? World Class #1. World Class is coming. The second we drop the link, he's coming. I mean, he's second.
I know.
Sean Baldwin might show up. If Real Petrus is still here, she might show up too. I don't know. She might. It'd be interesting to get her take on this.
Right. Yeah. And especially with this next one coming up, because the next video is talking about women's desire and when it comes to sex, and some interesting facts that were unveiled. So admin, let's go to video number 4. It ain't no duty to get the booty.
To talk about female desire, we need to start by talking about one major misconception, a seemingly scientific theory that most of us have bought into. And that is the idea that while men are genetically programmed to spread their limitless seed and be promiscuous, that women, by contrast, are genetically programmed, evolutionarily scripted to seek out one good man, seek out one good provider, seek out closeness and constancy, and so that, at least relatively speaking, by this theory, women are somewhat better suited to monogamy, have a sex drive that's a bit less raw, a bit less animalistic than male libido. That dates back to the early 90s. I went back and looked at those original academic papers that sort of put that into our consciousness via the media that sort of grasped onto this theory in the 90s. Those papers have very, very little substance to them. They have a lot of circular reasoning. They have very little substantive proof. And I think we as a culture latched onto them because we're eager to have simple theories to explain who we are, especially when it comes to gender. But we need to move on now because all the research and all the researchers that I've spent time with now over the last decade are really taking us in another direction, showing us something very different about female desire, something that's much more driven, much more like we used to consider male desire to be a force that's full of agency and that's not that old, relatively passive conception that we've, for the most part, been clinging to. So let's go into some labs. So Meredith Chivers, Canadian researcher who I spent a lot of time with, tries to look past what culture teaches us and look at something more immediate. So she puts women in front of pornographic scenes or has them listen to erotic scenarios and measures their response in two ways. One, she gives them a keypad. They can rate their own subjective response. Am I turned on? Am I not? To what degree am I turned on or not? Secondly, she's got a little device called a plethysmograph, which measures the body's response. And what we're talking about, just to get technical for a second, is a little sort of glassine tube that measures blood flow in the vagina. So interestingly, over and over again, what women say they want via the keypad, what women say turns them on, contrasts with what this little device called the plethysmograph says about bodily response. To give you one example, scenario with a super hunky, handsome, close friend as the potential erotic partner versus scenario with a super hunky, handsome, total stranger as the erotic partner. Consistently, women say, I'll go with the close friend. Consistently, women's bodies say, I'm getting very, very turned on. The plethysmograph readings are soaring in response to the stranger. What does this tell us? Can the little device called the plethysmograph say everything there is to be said about desire? Absolutely no, it cannot. There's all kinds of complexity here. But at the very least, it tells us a story that stands in contrast to the story we've been told by evolutionary psychologists, which is what women really want, sexually speaking, is that one good man, the intimacy-driven relationship, etc. This stands in total contrast to that. It asks us to question those old stories, and that's what researchers are doing now over and over. And that's partly because the field has become increasingly filled with female researchers, and so they're able to see in a different, more searching way into their subject.
So what you think?
I don't get the point he was trying to make.
Huh?
I don't get the point he was trying to make.
So the point is, like, there is this old idea that women are essentially like naturally, biologically wired for monogamy.
Maya, no,
right?
Listen.
And pretty much this woman did this experiment that showed that what women say they want, mentally they'll say they want one thing, but physically their body is saying
they want another. We all know that. If you're a man, right, you dealt with a woman, that's common.
Right.
That's common. Listen. I have met very few women where that was not the case. They'll say they want one thing, but then they get it. Oh no, Oh, you got exactly what you wanted. You know, I mean, it's just you guys confuse yourselves.
I kind of wanted it, but kind of not like that.
You want it, but you want it on your own terms.
Of course.
See, Sean, Bolden.
And
I told you. Sean Bolden, I told you. The world class, I told you. I told you. Real Precious, I told you also.
Told him what? Told him what?
That you want these things, but you want them on your own terms. The problem, the twist, is that it doesn't work that way. You can't have.
If we're being honest, we all want what we want, how we want it.
No,
that's just how we are. Like for instance,
not me.
I'll do you a solid. Where I give you a prime example.
Okay.
When people offer help,
you
know what I'm saying? Somebody says, I need financial help. You know, Mandrell, can you send me some money? Can you send me a couple of dollars? I just need, help.
Okay.
And you send me
how much you need?
You send me $20.
Right.
Okay.
You just said send some money. I sent you some money.
No, yeah, but okay, so really what I need help paying this bill. What I really want when I say help, or what I really want is you pay for me. But instead, what you do is you help pay some of the bill, right? And rather than being grateful for that and saying, yeah, he helped me pay the bill, because my idea of help meant pay the whole damn bill. And you didn't pay the whole damn bill.
Well, that's because
I don't credit that as help. I'm just saying, I'm just using this as an example. That's how people think. When you don't help them out, or you don't give them the things the way they want it done, you don't get credit for doing anything. That's how people operate.
Right. And again, women will say they want a leader, they want an alpha, okay? But when you got a guy who like Cody is King who shows up.
Cody in the chat.
Cody in the chat, yeah. But listen, when my man Cody shows up, okay, or Mandrell shows up, and that joker gets in your house and gets in your life and he starts leading. Whoa. Now there's a problem. But the fallacy is not on the guy. He's doing his job. He's leading. You don't want to follow.
He's okay. So for anybody who's ever been a manager or a supervisor, you understand that.
And it may not necessarily be the way you want it to be.
Yeah, but I'm making a point. You understand that, number one, you have to get to know the personalities and like the work ethic that your employees have. That way, when you delegate tasks, you know and understand where their strengths and their weaknesses lie. So in other words, you wouldn't delegate an employee who is not great at paperwork or like processing payroll. You wouldn't delegate a employee who's always late and never on time doing something to actually handle payroll, because payroll is important and it needs to be processed on time and it needs to be accurate. And you wouldn't put someone who, in other words, you wouldn't put someone who is weak, whose area of weakness in an area that they really need to be strong in. You got to know like where to put it.
Right.
And my point for saying that is you can't lead every woman as though every woman is the same. We are different people. We all have different personalities. We all have different needs. We all are different people, but yet men have this one blanketed idea of what leadership is. And when you come into a relationship trying to lead a woman as though she is the same as every other woman out here, that's where you get run into problems. You can't lead every woman the same way, because every woman's needs aren't the same and every woman doesn't need the same thing. And that's where men go wrong. You don't know how to, you don't know how to be flexible, pretty much. That's where a lot of things go wrong. Because like prime example, I'm a woman who has been living on my own, meaning for a while, meaning I'm self-sufficient. I know how to pay bills. I know how to go and buy groceries and cook, but I know how to survive on my own. So if you come into my life, you can't just come in and start telling me how to pay bills and stuff like that. That's not a weakness of mine. I already know how to do that. I've been doing it. But where you can come in and help me out is maybe showing me how I can better expand my finances, or how I can invest in stocks, or how I can grow my retirement.
Right.
Like, that is an asset. Like, then you won't get pushback.
Okay, here's the thing.
A lot of guys don't understand that.
Yeah, fair enough. Here's where it falls back on you now, the women.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to unfortunately, no one teaches you, so it's exceedingly difficult to do this. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to recognize competent leadership. Mm-hmm. So anyone can come in there and just start telling you what to do. Right. But that guy might not be competent. Like I know a guy. I'm friends with this couple. I'm not going to call any names, but you know who they are. Don't call any names if you figure out who I'm talking about, okay? The guy, terrible at money. Mm-hmm. But because he couldn't let go of his ego, his wife, fantastic with it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely superb. He couldn't let go of his ego and let her handle it, but then he gave it to her once he got annoyed with it enough. Mm-hmm. You know, he just didn't want to deal with it anymore. You know, and all he was doing was paying bills, you know. And balancing their budget for the month. It's like, fellas, if you recognize, she's right, recognize that your wife's or partner's strengths and weaknesses. Right. Help them strengthen their weaknesses. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then you help them evolve their strengths. Exactly. You know, exactly. And the thing is, fellas, you have to be competent enough to recognize these things. And number one, before all that, y'all need to learn how to talk to women. All this yelling and carrying on I hear people doing with women, Shu. It's incredible. I'm like, they actually think they're gonna get somewhere with a woman like that. I'm like, why are you yelling at her? That's the masculine part is when she's yelling at you, screaming at the top of her lungs, saying all this other crazy stuff. Hey, there she is. There she is. Hey, Sakina Boss, how you doing? And shout out to you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hello to Mandrell and Shu Shu. Greetings to the chat. Oh, the masculine part comes in here. Okay, fellas, look, when the woman is upset, or even if she's not upset, but she's just trying to make a point, but she's raising her voice. She's coming at you with what you all call as masculine energy, when it's not really masculine. She's just being a little aggressive, but your ego's too fragile, so you process it as masculinity, which is ridiculous. The best thing for you to do is maintain your frame like this, like I'm talking to my sister. Like she and I don't even argue. Right. Like it is a rare occurrence that my sister and I actually have an actual argument. Right. Like once every 10 years or so. And then we're like, hey man, this is stupid. And she'd be like, yeah, it sure is, isn't it? Yeah, let's chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how arguments ended. You know, but yeah, fellas, talk to her like in a normal tone, just normal. Don't raise your voice at it. You will be amazed at how far that goes. Right. That's true. No, that's just step number one. Just be calm, fellas. Right. She's not going to hear your point, even if your point is flawless. She's not going to hear it if you're yelling. Right. Yeah. That's the most important thing. If you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, the first thing you have to do is disarm their defenses. So like if they come into a conversation, look at Cody said. What did he say? That's because you guys are twins. Why thanks, Cody. Anyway, real quick, because we getting at the 1 hour mark, I want to get into this last video, and then we're going to go ahead and drop the link and get into this conversation, y'all. So, admin, let's cue up video 5.
Very complicated.
Why do I hear screaming?
I'm sorry. I live in New York City. I can't help that.
Oh, that's you. Okay. No problem. No problem. We understand. It's New York. Well, then why your video ain't playing?
I don't know. I guess we're having technical difficulties.
Are you the one doing it?
No.
Okay.
Basically, long story short, in the last video, what the therapist was saying was that when it comes to monogamy, it's actually a better option for society because it goes back to presenting or providing a more stable environment for the relationship. It provides a more stable household for the children. And it provides just a better connection as far as the relationship goes. Because remember, we are people who we build attachments.
And we imprint on people.
Yeah.
Actually, just like other animals do. Like that honey badger, Stoffel.
Oh,
those that guy and his wife. He and his wife had Stoffel since he was a baby. Like, he was a newborn.
Right.
And Stoffel actually imprinted on him. That's why he would always play games with him.
Mm-hmm.
He'd always break out just to annoy him and play around.
Right. Yeah.
But he'd never actually leave the preserve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We imprint on
other people. Run away.
Right. We actually imprint on other humans as well.
That's true. We do.
And that's why you have some people who one person might imprint on the other, but the other person has not imprinted on you, right? But that's why you got some people who just you're not leaving me. You'll never leave me. No. And then they do
that
whole thing.
I don't ever want that kind of relationship.
That's where that kind of stuff come from.
No.
And see, imprinted on people, it doesn't cause that, but some people can't handle the not the rejection, but the other person leaving them, because it does feel like you've lost an appendage of your body. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you lost a piece of yourself when that person breaks it off, and some people can't handle that.
Right.
And leads to tragedy.
I will say too, on the other hand, people do have agreements. So you have some people who, and I saw, shout out to I Am the Single One. I saw you in the chat. What's going on? You do have some people who have agreements in their relationship. You have some women who say to their husband, hey, okay, if you want to tip out from time to time, that's fine, but just make sure that you don't have no outside kids, don't bring me back no STDs, and don't bring me no outside babies, and don't embarrass me. That's the biggest thing. You have some men who righteously know they woman tipping out, and they may have an agreement or arrangement. Like, people have all kind of agreements and arrangements in their relationship, but the bottom line is, as long as both or all parties involved on the same page, that's the most important thing. How you doing, Sean? Thank you for joining.
I'm good. It's so good. New York, big city of screams.
Right. I'm so sorry. Lord, listen, I'm so disclaimer. Sometimes it's gonna be a little ghetto now, okay? Because I live in New York City. There's a lot of people, a lot going on outside. You might hear some police sirens. You're gonna hear some fire trucks passing by. Don't mind that. You know what I mean? We just gonna keep it moving.
That's funny, as you said, with your southern accent.
Okay.
Sean, look, Sean's a New Yorker.
Okay.
Originally, but then he moved out to LA.
Exactly.
He went from bad to worse. I'm like, why would you do that, Sean? Why would you do that?
Many will argue that, and I can't dispute it.
I'm just saying. You said, yeah, I did. I moved out here to LA. I'm thinking to myself, like, why would he move from New York and go to?
It has the same ambiance.
Not the move I would make, but fair enough.
It has the same ambiance, but it's a little slower.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I think a great comparison is like New York is like this much going on in this much space, whereas LA is this much going on in this much space. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing.
Correction. New York is this much going on in this much space.
Right.
You might have a couple winter kind of carjacking the subway. Nigga, this is my seat.
Right.
Yeah, but if you really want to get active, you go over there to Tommy B's area up there in Oakland.
Oh,
it's active up there, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Give a shout out real quick to our panel. World Class Nova, thank you for coming up. I know you got a lot to say on this.
He was gonna look. He was the first name I called. Said, "Tell you who's coming up here. We drop that link. Who? Nova.
Oh my God.
World Class. He's gonna come. He's
and I don't know if
you was
be already in the chat when I shouted you out, because I know you did a show on this once talking about monogamy. and because you had broken down like what monogamy means and like everything. So
you got to change the title.
Wait, stop. Hold on. Shoot. You telling me? Are you
Club.
telling me that World Class was your inspiration for this show?
no, he wasn't my inspiration, but I do remember he did it.
Okay.
Damn. I mean,
I'm just
God,
saying.
I'm just wondering. I mean,
Hey,
I could have
she
been.
was
Could
like, she
have just said yes. I'd have been fine with it.
That would have been.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's always my inspiration. Just put that part in.
That's right. That's right. He co-inspired this.
There we go. Wow. Not the Amon track.
Because he listened, the video came, I watched that video, and then I was like, you know what, the World Class did a show on this topic. This would be dope. See? Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Corey. I like that picture. That's nice. And Black David, what's going on? We appreciate you too.
What's the matter with David?
What's up with the wireless?
It's not. I got one of these Superfly computer mouse, and it's got like buttons everywhere, and one of them is to hit the back button, and so when I reached over for it, and it just took me down. So
okay,
that's what I get for having a mouse with like 38 buttons.
You gotta relax.
It's funny.
But
I mean, but I can control the whole computer
first,
with the mouse.
We're gonna get your thoughts on tonight's topic. What do you think about monogamy versus like us being not naturally monogamous versus the lifestyle choice, or like just what are your overall thoughts about it?
Monogamy is basically a choice that requires discipline, as Mandrell said. And it's a choice that anybody can do, and it can work for anyone if they so choose it. Naturally, they say, oh, you know how he was talking about the women. See, I debunked that theory a long time. I mean, that's just obvious. Women have urges like men have urges. The man who probably wrote that paper on, well, you know, our sperm and our seed, that was a man because he wanted his sperm and his seed to do it without the woman doing the same thing. We both have the same urges. And we both fail on having the discipline necessary to control those urges equally. Now, the men are just more open and bold about it because it's more accepted in society. But women have the same type of urges and fail with those urges and staying and having that discipline as much, maybe even more than the men. So let's just debunk that whole idea that monogamy is the way, because it's the way if you choose it, and anything you choose can work if you're disciplined enough to exercise the rules that are required for it.
All right.
There you go.
I agree. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, it pretty much boils down to which lifestyle you want to live, basically.
Yeah. You know, and the more people you have involved in your relationship, the more complicated things get, and the more prone to failure it is.
I agree wholeheartedly. I have a friend of mine who has 5 wives, and I live vicariously through him because it's great when you think about the fun and you know the excitement, exhilaration that can come with it.
But I've seen the talking
side of the responsibility that comes with all of those different attitudes, all of those different characters, all of the financial responsibility that comes with it. It's a heavy load. So shout out to those who want to do it. I ain't rich enough yet.
Right. Hey, Sean, your friend, is he bald?
What was that? No.
Your friend with 5 wives,
as a matter
is
of
he
fact,
bald?
he is.
Yeah, exactly. He went ahead and shaved it off because all his hair fell out. You know, imagine you have to deal with 5 different personalities, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, all those attitudes. Let's say a couple of them want to go out. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't feel like it. I'm just like all the normal stuff in a normal relationship. Now you got 5 people to deal with that with. I can't imagine it. Yeah, I don't want it. I just want one. I just need one.
Right.
I just need one.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Thank you for that, Sean. We appreciate you. Noble,
World
I know you've
class.
been boiling. So what's going on? What are your thoughts?
I got a trillion thoughts.
Of course.
I'm so tired of the cap. It's been so much stress. Like listening to this malarkey. All right, I don't even know where to start. I just
You could start out being the president of the Shu Shu fan club.
First of all, yes. I'm the founder. First of all, I'm the founder of the Shu Shu fan club.
And of all else, if anything else, world class, you can say, she's honest.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. So hit the cash app. Support the foundation.
Right.
Stop playing. So I don't even know where to start. It's just listen. Monogamy is genocide. I won't bore y'all with the etymology and stuff like that. I'll just start at the credibility of monogamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They claim it has something to do with religion. I argue it doesn't. It has something to do with the colonization and people being forced to be monogamous. That part. But there's this guy named God, right? He had a son named Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And he had made Adam a wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So monogamy means to marry once in a lifetime. So the name of Adam's wife was Lilith.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't. So that's his first wife.
That's his first wife. Yeah.
And then his next wife was named Eve. Mm-hmm. So monogamy is marrying once in a lifetime. But God gave Adam 2 wives. So God's not with monogamy. Monogamy goes back to 1610s. Yeah. Monogamos. It means to marry once in a lifetime. Do y'all know what marry actually means? Marry means to give offspring once in a lifetime. So I think I'm playing, but monogamy is literally genocide. That means 2 virgins come together and they make 1 virgin. I mean, every generation had to be cut in half. Monogamy is the most satanic game plan they've ever ran in life. Because nothing in your life is mono and everything in your life is poly. Mm-hmm. The way you breathe. Like the stuff he was talking about, got to my right, Sean, he was talking about urges. It's crazy when people talk about monogamy because it's okay to be sinful and give in to temptations. Like a chick will say, I deserve to be the only one because I'm selfish. Well, if you're selfish and you're not having it, you're not a mother and you're not a wife. And it's crazy that people will say stuff like polygamous household is more dangerous for the children. These are the most violent mothers of all time. They have killed 24,117,000 children. That's just in the womb.
What the hell?
You understand? So, and it's like people say stuff that just makes no sense. That monogamy culture that's been going on for 6 years, like that guy said, has produced the most debt we've ever seen, the most violence we've ever seen, the most, especially on children, that we've ever seen. These chicks, like when you think in your mind, mm-hmm. a violent whore, you don't think of a Muslim woman. Think of a Christian. You think of the ones that you call monogamous. You think of the ones you think of the ones you call.
Listen, the moment when he brought Adam, I already knew this was gonna be some bullshit.
But you can't refute it though. Can you refute it? Can you refute it?
Oh man.
Can you refute it?
Yeah. Mike can get his turn.
So it's like when you know what the word means, you know where it comes from. You look at the game plan, especially when you got brown skinned people with. Y'all ran no country, especially you can look at Nigeria right now. It's supposed to be monogamous. You can look at Jamaica right now. They got the worst numbers. They got the worst crime rate. They got the worst birth rates in the world. But you're being monogamous. It produces such horrible people because you got to validate. It was just like on the panel I was just on. It was talking about paying $600 or $700 on a date for a chick. I'm like, okay, cool. If you're gonna do that, $600 or $700, $1,000 on a date, I'm like, okay, cool. Don't sit and whine and complain when she start acting crazy because you validating all her crap. So if you have a chick and she's telling you she's monogamous and she's telling you that I deserve to be the only one because I'm selfish, you as a man can't then complain because you validated her selfishness.
Well, to add to that, bottom line is, like, even if she says, okay, it's okay, I'm not the only one. I don't have to be the only one. You still gonna get some kind of craziness, some kind of something down the line. Because bottom line is, we are all territorial. All of us. So like, whether it's just you and her, she like, nah, it gotta be just you and me, or if she agrees to be a number in a harem, like, the bottom line is, you gonna get some kind of static somewhere, because like I said, somebody gonna, whether it be territory or whether it be like jealousy or something.
Well, Shu Shu, to your point, that comes with not being honest. When you agree to something that you don't really agree to, that's the problem. That's where it comes from.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I didn't answer bias. I feel that. But yeah, so monogamy is Satan.
It's satanic. That's what came up with it. Because when you look at it, they kicked off what is it called? The transatlantic slave trade in like 1490 something, right? The word monogamy comes from the 1601, 1610s. We was already in slavery. We only know it through slave breeding and through colonization and genocide.
Monogamy is supremacy?
Monogamy
No, Mike. No, Mike. Wait your turn.
I mean, I feel you. As far as you being for us, we have monogamy. It existed in our societies too, like in Africa before.
No, but it was never as big as it is now. It's a place for everything. I mean, you already know about the Bible. They ever had homosexuality forever ago. You know what I'm saying? But it was never a standard of living.
We got a comment for you. World class. Do you believe both men and women are non-monogamous?
No. Good question. I just told you what God made. But
so it's just me and that. Or no.
No. If God made Adam 2 wives, I mean, the wives was polyamorous too.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's like, people can't debate with me. I'm gonna put God in your face, you're gonna lose. God guarantees, especially.
You know what?
I'm gonna field day with you. You're gonna lose fast.
You know what? We're not gonna be like, okay.
Please pass
me. We're not gonna be like that. Real quick, I just want to shout out Hank for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, I'm just here for Shu Shu.
You gotta do it like Hank.
That's too many hard ankles on the panel.
Hank the Barbarian. I call him Hank the Barbarian. I'm just here for Shu Shu. It's too many hard ankles up here on this thing.
You can stop it.
I ain't got no hard ankles. Hank.
It ain't my fault that he talk like that.
Right. Thank you so much.
It ain't my fault he talk like that.
Get him, Peter. Get him.
I do want to get around the panel, and then I guess we can really get into like a actual
round table
conversation or conversation.
Thank you.
We'll be back to you. So I'm gonna just kind of go I guess
Corey Hagel's next.
Yeah. So Corey, thank you for coming up as always. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I believe monogamy is the perfect way to go. I believe if you're going to live with somebody and spend all your time with them when you're not working or whatever else you're doing, getting to know that one person is the greatest journey you'll ever undertake.
Right.
One person.
Easier than getting to know 5 other people at the same time. I'm sorry.
Well, 5 other people is just like having acquaintances, but I mean, if you're into a baby mill, that works just fine, but I'm not really looking for that. I ain't having no more kids. But now I'm looking for companionship, friendship, but a lifetime, lifelong. Not I'm not trying to repopulate a continent.
Right.
But I mean, monogamy to me is getting to know the smallest details about a person, right down to the stuff that they used to enjoy when they were little kids, because that's when you really get into the good stuff, because that's when they really trust you. And monogamy to me is about trust. It ain't about anything else. It's about you trust me with your future and your past, and I trust you the same. But we have a really, I think the world has a slightly skewed version of marriage and monogamy today. I mean, that one guy that said, well, if you fall off of monogamy, you can just get back. No, you were never honest to begin with, you swinging dick. Um, come on.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
The only thing he did was he took a break from swinging his dick. He's always been, and he just attempted to. I don't know who he was trying to impress, trying to be monogamous, but it wasn't the real him.
right. Well, he was saying that like everybody, we all have it inside of us, this drive. Like, just because you're in a committed relationship to someone doesn't turn off your desire to sleep with somebody else. It doesn't turn off your attraction for other people. And he was basically saying that, people look at monogamy as though it's like a virginity. Like, once you pop your monogamy cherry, like, that's it. Like, it's over. And he was like, whereas like we should look at it more like sobriety. Like, okay, yeah, you might fall off the wagon, but you could always get back on the monogamy.
Yeah, but the way he was talking, it was like a 12-year-old where he saw something that looked advertising or whatever, and he wanted to put his thing in it. I mean, just because it looked good, oh my God, I got to stick something in that. It's like, what? Really? That is, your brain is like, well, however far away from your belly it is, but that's all you got. That's all you are.
Right.
I mean, that's like a puppy, just walking around going, ooh.
I like this. I want it. Right. So right.
But no, monogamy, to me, monogamy is beautiful. Monogamy is a blessing, a treasure. The problem is most people take it for granted. Their spouse becomes common. They get bored. They get bored because they're shallow. Shallow people get bored. Shallow people need entertainment.
Right.
It's just what it is. If you get bored in your relationship, there ain't nothing to you. You're the most boring damn person I've ever been. I'm just gonna say it. You are freaking. There is empty hole in your head, and ain't nothing in there to entertain nobody, and you can barely entertain yourself. And the fact that you get bored and go out just means you ain't got nothing in there in the first place because you're looking for somebody else to fill it. So hey.
Oh
wow. Wow.
No, Corey.
Hey, okay, Corey. Okay.
Corey.
I mean, I could be civilized for most of the time, but I'm not entirely,
Wow.
Billy beloved.
Mike drop.
Corey made one point that we shouldn't gloss over, and that is that his choice of monogamy is because he's not.
You know what?
Man.
You said his choice of monogamy is what?
It's not because he's here to populate the world. He actually wants it because he's at a certain age to where he just wants that trust and companionship. And that's something that we don't factor in often when we speak about this topic.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I was looking for that at the beginning when I was 22. I was looking for that in the beginning, but I ran into one of them people that didn't have nothing in there in the beginning.
But the thing is, Sean, that's because a lot of people don't value it.
Yeah.
They don't value companionship,
Yeah.
They don't value loyalty. They don't value a lot of things. Like, they don't even value love for real. Like, for instance, you got people who will have someone who loves them completely, and for some reason, other than betrayal, they'll let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
For a broken bag.
I don't understand. Again, why would you do that?
Because the mind is carnal in nature.
Like, I really have a hard time understanding that. I don't get it. I mean,
They do that for guilt trips.
Whatever.
Well, thank you, Corey. We're gonna
Thank you, Corey. We're gonna move on to who was next.
Okay, I'll blow the smoke out of my barrels now.
Hey, yo, okay.
I need 36.
He said what?
OG.
Okay, yeah, OG, J Speed.
Yeah, how y'all doing? Hey, what's going on?
Shit. What's going on?
I got a question. Did you get your shot?
Okay, let me cut it down. I got the apple.
Jesus Christ. My Lord.
Why are you yelling?
Just had to make sure.
You sound like a door salesman.
Listen.
No,
okay.
Listen, what the fuck you mean? I don't know that white woman. Man, I was just trying to get my shirt from the welfare office. You guys been holding me up.
All right, you trying to get your check from the welfare office?
No. You been in the welfare office. You got arrested.
Hey, what's going on, Jay, Mike? I think we gonna agree along with this one, bro.
Yeah.
I think we gonna agree along with this. Wait a minute.
Tag me in when we're done.
No. I think we gonna agree along with this one. Okay. Then the first thing, I think holistic approach of life comes before all that stuff in the 1600, 1500, 1800 BC and all that. My knowledge of it. So, number one, it can be easily proved that this drive that we say we have, this is why you don't have male prostitutes. It takes a special man to be a male prostitute. A woman can be a prostitute all day long, and even if it don't get wet, hey, number one, she can put some lube in it. You can't be tying no popsicle stick with some duct tape on it, trying to make it work all day. Let's just get that straight out the way. Let's just get that straight out the way. All right. So then, no. Let me speak. I ain't interrupt nobody. Now, we can do the science and we biology behind it and figure this out real quick. Real damn quick. See, what I have found out throughout my course, and I know there's a lot of guys on here have had, a lot of women in their stable and have a lot of experience with women. But one thing I found out about women that men lie about is women have the same urge as men. That's bullshit. That's real bullshit. Because number one, a woman really gets her thrill to be with a man due to the fact of his what? His power. See, a woman get turned on about a man's power. That's why the ones who always get chosen, it ain't the drummer who get chosen at the concert. It's always the lead singer because he seemed to have the most power. I'm just telling you from my experience, bro. That might be your anecdotal experience, and you might, and I go with that. I'll believe whatever you say that works for you. But I know, been around a set of women. I've been in entertainment since I was 16 years old, and I know women have always taken men or gravitate to men with power. In a club, take for instance, it's always the DJ and the owner. It ain't the dough man. It's the DJ and the owner because they know who has the real power in that club. And number two, football player. Who usually get the woman? The quarterback, because he seemed to have the most power on the team. So what I'm just saying is, science proves it itself. 80% of women don't even get an orgasm from penetration. Now, I have been with a lot of women. I can tell you throughout a lot of women, if you take a 100, you might find one or two who have the same urges as you, but the rest of them, they are making love to men to get what? Certain advantages in life. They feel certain things from that man. That's why there's a difference between a woman looking at a nerd and looking at a person who she consider has the power in the room. So the love making starts way before you're in the bedroom. It's the way that you carry yourself as a man. If you're doing all that work in the bedroom, you pretty much don't lost the game. So that's number one. So any man who walks around on this earth and think that women have the same urge as him, no science can prove that. No biology can prove that. And you most certainly can't go as long as a woman. She can outdo you any day on a bad day. And so we got to keep these things in perspective. Women are attracted to men who are leaders, power, or have themselves together. That's why the other guys don't get it. Even to take the one y'all call Pookie and Ray Ray in the neighborhood, he still have power. He kicking ass. He doing all kinds of bad shit in the neighborhood. She ain't there going there picking the damn nerve out of the neighborhood because she see him as a power. Y'all got to take this class in pimpology. When you understand how pimps motivate, then I know there's one man over here and do understand that. So I know there's a lot of things he might have said that he was just trying to lead the witness a little bit or lead the people in the crowd, but he know better than that. See, one thing to really get a woman on your team, you got to get her mind. You can go in there, you can be an AKA Dickman, and the only thing she'll like you for is an AKA Dickman. She ain't trusting you for nothing else. And after a while, she'll start dick dodging you. So, again, because that's all you have to offer. You can't complete a woman with just sex, bro. Everybody knows that. Anybody knows that. That's why at any given time, a woman can go to a job and have the guy on fries and be turned on more about him, and you can come in the room and do a damn Olympic set for a night. She still like that guy on the fries because there's something he said in her ear and her mind. So we got to get out of this old bullshit that women and men walk together when it comes down to they drive. You better go look at some statistics as far as way before all these new wave statistics coming out. Because a lot of you brothers ain't hitting it right. Y'all eating out the garbage can. Y'all making U-turns, trying to find Kentucky Fried Chicken in their drawers and stuff. Y'all ain't supposed to be down there like that. You know, so what I'm really trying to say, if you got strong in the backbone, you don't have to use your jawbone. A lot of you brothers don't learn all this old cheat code shit, and you trying to lick the goddamn mattress off the goddamn wood. And you
stick by it. I call you a handkerchief head Negro. I call him a handkerchief head Negro. And I'm sticking with it. Google it.
Google that. I tell you, I said you hang a hat, nigga. I'm telling you just like that. Don't start with me, because I take it all the way. But anyway, that's all I have to say when you really look at this thing. I think a lot of men don't even understand the woman's anatomy.
Right. That's true. That's a fact. That's a fact. Most guys don't, and they're losers, and that's why they lose. Now, what you say is, here it is, OG. Run this by me again. So if you're strong in the backbone,
you don't have to use your jawbone.
Right on.
You can use your jawbone for eating your food, bro. You ain't supposed to be down there in that girl's panties like that.
Okay. but what if the ladies like it?
What was that again?
What if the ladies like it?
Wait a minute. Crackhead like crack. Crystal head like crystal. So you can't go on you got to learn technique. I can rub a woman on her elbows and get her climax. You got to learn spots, bro. Okay. You got to learn how to maneuver things.
The elbows?
The elbows, the back of the leg, the kneecap.
Yeah,
you got
this is crazy.
No. See, it's crazy for the guys who don't know how to do it.
The elbows.
Well, let me say this.
I don't know.
The elbows.
Teacher, tell me how you do it.
The elbows.
Bro, you had to come to my class, and you gonna have to bring 2 or 3 other brothers with you, because I don't want your ass get in there and get a little feminine about yourself with these techniques I'm gonna teach you.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Mandrell, you asked the question. Mandrell, you asked the question. Okay, let me prove a point to y'all right now. I said this earlier today. Let me just prove this one point. I'm gonna let it go. In 1970. Wait a minute. When 1970s, when white women started climbing that fence, which they had been climbing the fence a long time ago, but they was doing it when the master was from the slave owner. But when they started jumping that fence, they was already getting their kitty cat licked. They was already getting that done. You know why they was jumping on our sides of the fence? Because they wanted to get dick down. But what y'all did, y'all made it a handicap. What y'all did, y'all leveled up with other men and made them equal to you, because we had a special thing that we could do in that bedroom. But see, y'all took that cheat code and you fell for the bullshit, and now this is why your woman found out today she don't need your ass to get a climax, because she can get another woman to suck on her thing.
Mandrel, it's your fault. It's your fault.
It is. I take
your fault.
Responsibility. I did do
Absolutely.
that. I did ask the question.
So it's on you.
And he answered.
Yes, he did.
I'm grateful for the answer, though. Don't get me wrong. But it's just
I've never heard such a compelling anti-head argument in my life. I've never even, in all of my 37 years, I've never heard such a passionate.
You know the sad part is, Noble? You really think about it and listen to it, it kind of makes sense to you.
Don't say that.
You sit there and listen to it. It'll kind of make sense to you if you sit there and listen to it. I mean,
listen, I'm getting.
Hey, Tiger Wood give everybody a handicap to catch up with and beat his ass. So beat their ass. So what I'm trying to tell y'all guys, white women wasn't jumping the fence for you to be licking on their pussy. They jumped the fence for you to dig them down. And y'all the one gave up the goddamn championship belt.
Man, pimpology.
I don't know what that had to do with monogamy, but we got it.
It has a lot to do with it.
I got nothing for him.
You got it.
Okay.
So
I don't know what to say.
Go down on men, but men can't go down on women.
No, I don't play it either. Well, look. Let me tell you something.
Oh yeah, you
look. Hey, no. Let me stop. Wait a minute. This is not even part of our heritage, bro. Let's be 100 today. All right. I don't want that many teeth that close to my nuts or my dick. Okay. Suppose she slip off the bed or something. She bite down. You 4 to 5 inches off. You understand? So what I'm saying is
exactly. This is stressful. I don't know what I'm
saying.
So
pimpology 101. I am not mad at you, pimp.
You can't be, son. You can't get mad at him. That's why I'm not stopping.
Y'all, you gotta stop. You gotta relax.
I'm just telling the truth. That look like danger to me. That's like putting your dick in a piranha's mouth. I'm not doing that, bro.
OG.
I mean, y'all can do it if you want to. That's up to y'all. I mean, every man has his own way that he wants to get down. I'm not getting down. Y'all eating out. Wait a minute. Y'all tossing salad. Y'all doing all kinds of bullshit. I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm old school.
Wow.
I'm gonna be all right.
OG, you got to relax. You have to stop a little bit. You got to
relax. Okay. So you and Mandrell, didn't we have a conversation about these brothers? These brothers are doing things. These women are taking y'all to another level in the bedroom. Pussy eating is not good enough no more. You got to lick the ass. You got to do all kinds of stuff today. I ain't doing none of that, bro.
You know,
I was born. Wait a minute. I was born with a tube. And I do not. Hey, look here. I do not try to take a. Wait a minute. I do not try to take a wrench and take a Phillips screwdriver out the wall. That's what y'all been doing. That's why she don't really need y'all ass.
How do we get right here?
Oh. You know,
I don't know. I really don't. I wish I knew how we got here.
I feel you, OG. I don't eat ass.
Thank you, OG. We have to move on.
We were talking about taking a bite out of crime. That's how we got there.
Man, as soon as you said him, I knew where you was going.
You forget animated. This is your fault.
David, you got 2 minutes, man.
Go ahead, David.
You got 2 minutes, David. Go ahead.
Don't nobody know what the topic is no more. It's
gobble.
Thank you, Black David. But let's
good luck, David. Have fun following that.
I'm glad I went first. For a second.
Right. I mean, hopefully Dr. Nakumbi can come with I don't know, something.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how it's gonna top that, but hey.
Clear. Is eating ass part of the healthy diet?
I think it's only fair that we give the doc a fair shot.
It was the passion he spent on for me.
Yeah, it was the passion.
Good evening.
Is there benefits of eating ass? I need to know.
I just want to be able to hello to.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You get a shitty deal.
Oh, okay. Dr. Nakumbi, it's your turn. Please.
Colin,
what's going on?
Get him
I heard you said.
I didn't know if you knew this.
Okay. Everybody, what's up?
Hello to the panel and to those in the chat.
What's
Good
up,
evening.
Doc?
Hey, what's up? All right. Thank you. I just want to actually answer the title of the show. Are we wired to chat? To cheat? And from research, so it just depends on if you believe in psychology. So this won't land for everyone. If you believe in it, great. And if you do not, it's only a perspective. We're wired since birth. So first of all, whatever your it comes with, and I'm gonna be talking about this tomorrow as well, that some of our behaviors actually come from 2 or 3 generations behind. It actually comes in the DNA as well. So like, you remember when BMU was talking about sex, that if you have sex with 200 people, how that kind of like 200 like junks in you? Yeah, all that type of stuff. Yeah. So that stuff comes with it when you're born. All right. So traditional, not what I'm just going off traditional. So if it doesn't match or fit, don't worry about it. When you're born into traditionally a 2-parent home. So you come out already being conditioned to learn to love more than one. Say, love your mama, love your papa. If you have grandparents, that's 3, 4 people you are conditioned to love. And before you say that's not pussy love, that's a different type of love, I'm just talking about the fact that we're wired right from the go. If you have siblings when you are born, so I don't know who's older, Mandrel or Shu Shu, but when you were first born, again, traditionally or historically, you have to learn, you're being taught, this is your little brother or this is your little sister. So that's 2 right there, or 1 of you, and then mama, papa, grandparents on both sides. Then when you go to school, they teach you to have your favorite friend. And then on Valentine's Day, you bring a bag of candy for the classroom. You have your favorite teacher 1, favorite teacher 2. If you had a pet, the pet couldn't be alone by itself. It would be so lonely. So it had to have another pet. And then 2 pets. So you're taught to love that. Then you have your favorite pair of shoes. I don't know anyone. There's some poor people, but most people have more than 1 pair of shoes, more than 1 pair of pants, more than 1 pencil, kind of get the theme, more than 1 credit cards, more than 1 credit card, jobs, more than 1 job, more than 1 favorite movie, more than 1 favorite song. But yet, how are we going to get married to 1 person and they fulfill all things? When we were raised from day 1 and conditioned from day 1 to love and enjoy more than 1. More than 1 car, more than 1 house. Some people have 2 apartments, they have a motorcycle, they have a car. More than 1 this, more than 1 that. So how can we, what do the phone companies say? Buy 1 and get, it's only you. It's only you. Buy 1 and get the second one free or half off. Buy 3 tires and get the 4th one free. Our advertising. Pizza. Buy 1 and get the second one half off. We are not conditioned. We are trained. So are we wired? Absolutely. Now, in the moment, I'm a little triggered, so I want to be transparent. I'm a little triggered by all the judgment, the people who say that they're Christians and all that, but up here just smashing people, just bashing the hell out of people, and so much judgment. But I'm in a sore spot tonight, so I don't want to really get into it. But it's just ridiculous, the amount of judgment. So I hear you say that it's weak if you have to have more than 1. Actually, that takes strength. Because you're managing, you're part of a system. I'm not talking about the ones who are fucking everyone. Yeah, that anyone can fuck somebody. Excuse my language. Anyone could stick their penis in whatever, or whatever the combination is, lick, whatever. The point is, it takes strength in order to be in more than 1 person's life. It takes patience to deal with the multiple personalities. It takes understanding. It takes learning a system. Who gets more pay? A manager or the frontline employee? The manager who has to learn all the different personalities, that has to learn how to manage all the different behaviors, we don't call them weak. Now, they might be weaker than the owner, but we don't call the managers weak and stupid and dumb. You're dumb because you manage a team. Now, they might be dumb because they have to take on all the extra responsibility. Come 5 o'clock, you get to take your ass home while they still got to cover the shifts. But it doesn't take a dummy to cover those shifts. Then, can the person be happy for the other person? Absolutely. We do it every day. How many of your siblings have called you and told you, hey, I got that so-and-so, your ass didn't get it, but you were happy for them? It's called compersion. Now, before someone tells me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, please look it up yourself. It's called compersion. I'm not the master of spelling it, but I think it is compersion. That's the opposite of jealousy. It is the opposite of jealousy. And so people can have compersion where you are genuinely happy for your partner. Now, can I watch my partner? Can you watch your partner? Can you, what was it, the female? Can you let your woman do it? Absolutely. You know how many queens ran the earth where they had multiple men? The queens in Africa who had 4 or 5 men. Okay? So there's all kinds of combinations to this. There's male, female, male, 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 female, and then there's the straight version, male, female, MFM. So whatever letter is in the middle divides the two. If the 2 letters go together, that means they probably date each other also. There's all kinds of combinations. Now they changed and added all kinds of stuff. You could be solo poly, you could be all kind of things, that all kind of. But I'll land with this. Back to the question of, are we wired? For those who are so perfect and don't do this and don't do that and don't do this, if you cheat on your taxes, you are a cheater. If I tell you pick 4 M&Ms and you take a handful of M&Ms, you are a cheater. If you are supposed to go this way and you go that way, you are a cheater. If you punch your clock, if you punch the time clock at work, like you stand there at the clock and wait a couple extra minutes because you know it's going to take you to the next bracket, you are a cheater. If you get to work early, if you get to work late, but then your friend punched you in, you are a cheater. If you know how to any of these things, you are a cheater in your mind. That means you have the capability. You just choose not to get extra people, but a cheater is a cheater. And so for all the people who say, I would never, if you cheat your taxes, then you will. Now, the reason you don't is because you can't handle. A person who can't handle more than one, that's the weaker person. Oh, I can't, all that energy and all that. Oh, I can't maintain.
I was talking about guys who talk all this stuff, but know full well they can't actually handle that.
Right.
Those are the ones I was calling weak.
Right. It takes energy. It takes, again, if you know how to work your system, you are actually having multiple people pour into you. So they are actually filling your cup when you're getting drained. They are filling your cup. Right. That's true. People don't know how to do it, but I just want to say, if you do it like for the love of it, and then here's the clinical piece. I said I was going to land my plane. My apologies. May I have another 2 minutes? Would that be cool?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So here's the clinical piece of it. Now, some people don't like this, but polyamory people don't like this version because it implies that they're fucked up. So here's the clinical piece. Please remember your first relationship. Your first relationship is the one that you've been carrying on all this time. Your first, not the last one that cheated, not the last one that was so perfect. Your first relationship is the base. It is the foundation of all your relationships moving forward. If you had a traumatic, horrible relationship with your parents, you will have trauma through all of your relationships. It's called attachment. If you have secure attachment when you are a child, you will have secure relationships throughout. Your first relationship is where you learn trust. No, they cheated on me, and they cheat. That's not how it works. You can believe it or not, but that is not how it works. Trust was developed the moment the person who betrayed you first betrayed you first. And it could be something intentional or not. Your daddy will be here at 5 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Where are they? You were betrayed. And in the back of your brain, you guys call a schema, schema, more psychology stuff if you believe in it. You got a schema locked in your brain that you are not worthy, you are not good enough, because if that's the case, dad would have been here. Then you attached the number 5, because 5 o'clock was the magic number. His ass was not there. So now 5 is a demon number to you. Dad is a demon title to you. Mama is a liar because he's not here. And you take all those things forward into your relationship. If mama woke up at 2 a.m. and stubbed her toe coming in there to change your sibling's diaper, and you watched her stub her toe, crack her toe, but yet still get up at 5 or 6 in the morning to serve breakfast to daddy, that kid develops what's called hostility, not towards daddy, towards mama. That's messed up, mama. You broke your toe last night, but yet you up here serving dad. So all these things are in the back of my mind, this hostility for women. When I get old enough to date one, I'm going to want one that offers me the nurturing of what mama should have given me. But the second I get her, I spend the rest of the time trying to break her to prove she's going to fail me. And like other dumb women, they're going to crack their toe or do something for me and still do it even though I'm fine and they're broken because they're dumb. And where did I get that from? From the moment I was 5 years old and mama cracked her toe. Not when I was 26, not when I was 40, not because my last relationship. And then because I'm so broken inside, I have what's called lack of intimacy. I have poor emotional management. And that lack of intimacy, like a tank, you imagine filling up a gas tank, it is empty. Polyamory people have many people pouring into that tank. Tiger Woods, I'm going off for a hot second on a different thing. Tiger Woods, he was winning championships left and right and fucking everybody. The second his wife found out, and he said, my bad, and he went to sex therapy treatment, he hadn't won a championship since. I mean, he's won some little rinky-dinky little things, but the moment he stopped and got rid of all his 18 women, he has not won a major championship since. Mm-hmm. You could be happy for him that he got treatment, but it destroyed his sense of purpose and all the pouring that was put in him. The lack of intimacy was destroyed when he was controlled to make sure he's a professional. And I'm rushing. To make sure he does fabulous, make sure he does wonderful, that eats up all your energy. And when all that energy is gone, to have someone say, don't worry, Pookie, I love you. Oh, that's a little bit pouring into your tank. Now take that into adulthood. Everyone picks you, Shu Shu. I'm going to pick the only other lady up here. There might be more, but I'm going to pick Bass. Bass, you and I are having a wonderful relationship. And it's 2 in the morning and we're having a grand time. We had sex. We started at 2 a.m. We ended at 2:03. And then I want a sandwich. You want a cigarette. We get up and say, hey, let's go get something to eat. We go to Denny's. 3 minutes, yeah. So we go to Denny's and the server is a woman who comes up to us and says, how can I help you? And she sits us down. And I'm used to people failing me. And I think you said before, you're used to people not keeping their word, right? So we are a match made in heaven. Isn't that fucked up? So we're a match made in heaven. And then the server has no paper, no pencil, no paper, no pencil. And the thing I'm thinking is what? Her dumb ass is going to mess up the order. I'm already expecting her to fail us. My babe orders something and I'm just watching. I'm observing the server, but not consciously aware that I'm about to do this. I order my stuff way messed up, not on purpose. And I promise I'm landing. We're going down 10,000 miles per second here. All right. So when I order, I say, I want the triple burger, cut diagonal, no pickles, add mayo, jalapenos with no seed. You got all that, huh? Because subconsciously I'm expecting her to fail me. She comes back with the burger. It's perfect. She puts it down. I look through it. Wow, it's perfect. She says, I wasn't leaving that kitchen until I knew it was made right. She just poured some major... From childhood, she just poured a zillion gallons of me of, huh? You didn't disappoint me. You heard me. You understood me. You protected me. You made sure it was done right. In my perceived mind, I'm already in love. And because our society is all about sex, I'm already thinking, damn, I want to sex her. My relationship is so healthy. I get to look at beautiful anime and be like, and she was like, I know, we should take her home. That's how healthy our relationship is. So people who are truly polyamorous is not, who's that? What are you doing? Why? Who? How? Who? Don't look. Who? No, she is saying, damn, look at the ass on her.
Amen.
Because she's not jealous. She's not worried. And then I'll leave it with this. I leave the restaurant. We come back in 6 months. I wasn't coming up for pie. Wasn't doing nothing. We just came back up. And when we went to the restaurant, it happened to be the same server. And she says, "Oh my gosh, it's the one sliced burgers, no pickles, jalapenos, mayo." I'm fucking in love. Why? Because I felt remembered. I felt heard. I felt acknowledged. I felt all these things after 6 months. This person's never seen me. That's why people cheat, because they feel the connection that's been wired. They feel the intimacy that's in their tank being fulfilled, and they want to pay it back. What can I do for you since you poured into me? Those on the panel, thank you. I ate up a lot of your time.
I got a question for you, Doc. I got a couple questions for you, Doc.
Yes.
And I think this is where orthodox medicine runs in the fork of the road versus holistic way of life.
Yes.
Okay. I think a lot of the things you said, is true to the society we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that mindset is exactly as you speak from our environment, the environment we live in.
Yes.
Because a lot of the people that you're talking about is mostly from a Western society.
Absolutely.
But when I travel the world, they don't have the same problems. And that's all, again, going back to what you're wired to. And I think y'all really didn't understand where I was going when I was going all around the circle. But what I was saying to go all around the circle is when you start dealing with the sexual contact with a human being, it escalates. You don't do the same thing when the first time you had sex versus when you get experience. All that stuff keep escalating. And mindset and all that other stuff goes along with it. And it has something to do with your environment. Under the Western society, I would never disagree with what you just said. But I know there's a bunch of other societies don't have that problem and don't have that wiring that you spoke of.
Right. So you have a point, Sephora. Let me add. I agree with you. Let me add this. So some of the wiring, like literally the wiring in our brain, when you wipe a baby's behind, if any of you ever have a son and you notice at 1 year old, you change the diaper and the son has an erection at 1 year old. They didn't watch Corn. They didn't watch any magazines. You didn't show them at 1 year old. So we already know that's the wiring. The patch of skin between your anus and your scrotum, or your anus and your vagina, that patch right there is filled with nerves. Every single time we change that baby's diaper, unannounced to anyone, no one is doing it on purpose, and the baby doesn't know what the hell it is, but the body keeps score. The body keeps score. So when we have that first experience, it's like any addiction. People aren't getting high to kind of like get this major buzz. They really are chasing the first high. They are chasing the first high. So the people on the eastern side of the world, I 1 billion% agree. They won't have. I've watched people in India and the Philippines. The woman is up at 6 a.m. serving her family. The guy's gone all day, and I'm like, dang, isn't he cheating? She's like, cheating who? At the end of the night, he's here, and at the end of the day, he's paying for his family and taking care of his family, and he loves me the way I want to be loved. I don't need him to be here every minute. He's a man. Go let him do what he needs to do. And then they watch all this stuff about the Western, and then they start getting influenced. They start getting influenced, and that's what starts to mess things up to where they're questioning if they have the right thing. But the eastern side of the world has actually had polygamy and monogamy. Monogamy. The rich people were monogamous because I don't want all that shit. I can have one. And then there's another set of rich people that said, I can afford many. So OG, in many ways, I'm with you.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I want to clarify is how you do things in your environment has a lot to do with your test, how you go live your life. Because think about this, and it all ties into this. This is why one of the most studied things in America right now It's the freedom of these porn sites. How many times it has ruined men where they can't even go in the bedroom and perform. They don't impregnate most of every woman on that site that she ain't met. But when they get in the bedroom, they can't even perform with a real woman because the sense of smell, touch, and everything, because it's gone. Because the enjoyment they are getting is from a perfect thing. It's from a perfect picture, a perfect angle. And you don't get that in natural life. You go get smell, you go get touch, you go get all that. So what they have did is desensitize themselves as the prolong of porno, where they can't even perform live anymore.
Yes. So OG, because of there's other people who didn't go before me. I want to.
Okay, I just would you? I'm about to get out because I'm cooking.
Yeah, I agree with that corn stuff. You know, our eyes are our sensory. So the animals do what? They make noises, and the female animal, and the male animal, and the female animal, yeah, that's fuck, or they make all kinds of noises. They attract each other. We don't do that. Our sensory is meant for reproduction. So our sensory is through our eyes. Now, if that's correct, our eyes don't say this set of sensory was only made for one person. My set of eyes, my sensory did not say they were programmed for Shaniqua or Mary or Melissa. My eyes are censored for opposite sex, for reproduction. When you watch corn, you are getting a sensory overload. It's like burning out a motor because it's through your eyes, the sensory motor. And corn, especially a corn hub, where there's a whole hub in front of you. And that industry got together with psychologists. There used to be 2-hour features, starring Sharon Stone. Yeah. And so they got with psychologists and said, how can we make it faster, easier? If you watch YouTube and you see those graphics where we can see where they tuned in at, right? Like where they rewinded, what's the most watched part? They got together with psychologists to figure that out about corn, and then we went from 2-hour movies to 15 8-second clips. So people can go boom, 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 not even realizing that they're wearing out their sensory. They go to make love to their wife, and they can't even stay in performance for more than a minute. Thank you. I'm out.
Wait, 8 seconds.
If you do the work, do your chakras, do the work, and you can transform those messages, that narrative in your mind. You can work that stuff through. It does not mean you have to be that way. You are not your trauma. You can do the work and change your life. All right.
Right on, Doc. Thank you. And don't worry about the time you took up, man. It was well worth it. All kidding aside.
Yeah.
You, Bass, I don't know how you're gonna follow up between Doc and Jay Speed. I mean, that was it.
It's a lot.
In my opinion, that's the show.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is. So you can follow that. You have to follow that now. Okay. So don't blow it.
It's all on you.
Thank you.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead.
I believe in you. It's all right. I believe in you. You got this. I believe in you. It's all right. That's right.
Peaches are sweet. You don't have to worry about.
I know. I believe in him as long as he don't go to sleep.
So first of all, relationships in general, you have to have trust, whatever relationship you're in. And the issues people have with monogamy is basically they're polygamous, but they're lying to get this one person.
There you go. That's the problem.
Can't let this person go for whatever reason, and so they lie and say, "I want a monogamous relationship with you,"
right?
And then they cheat.
Right.
I mean, there can be plenty of happy relationships all over the world if people would just be honest with themselves and with the other people that they're in relationships with. What Doc and OG were speaking of, as far as like what attracts the cheaters to these other people is true. is the connection that they have with these people. And the response is, I want to reward you sexually. Now remember, I know this because I've been a side chick before.
Shout out to the side chicks. We need you. We need you. You keep marriages together.
I was just being a good friend, and
Hey, man.
You know.
But you know what?
I stayed in my lane. I stayed in my lane. That's another reason why it's very the people who can pull off polygamy are very rare, because they're rare.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you have to be honest. You have to
doing it. Oh, go ahead. I'm back with.
I'm gonna kick you.
Right. And for the record, polygamy is when the other person knows about the other people.
Yeah.
If you're lying to the person, the stuff I was speaking to is when people lie. No, it's just you, baby. It's just you. It's just me and you.
But you have some people who like that because it's a whole game.
Can I correct that?
It's like the idea of, okay, I can tell this person one thing, and then like it's a game to them, like maneuvering between these different people and like how I can manipulate this person. For some people,
it's the thrill of the forbidden fruit, right?
Right.
No, the way you're explaining it is the same as a monogamous person going bad, meaning a polyamory relationship means more than one with consent.
Right.
With consent.
So that's what he said.
No. Polygamy is marriage to more than one.
Gamy means to marry.
Yes, polygamy is a person with two wives. Polyamorous means with consent. It could be open, we just all whatever, or it could be closed.
What I was talking about is people who agree to a monogamous relationship, but still like step outside of the relationship because they're lying.
Correct. The same thing with polyamory. I agreed to be more than one, just us three, us four, and then they step out. That's the same thing. They cheated. But the consent part is the agreement. But people destroy it by just running around using it as a title just so they can get some.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, so I said there needs to be trust, and there needs to be honesty, there needs to be fairness. So whoever is being the single party has to be fair to the rest of the group. Whether it's a single woman with multiple husbands, or a single man with multiple wives, you have to be as equal as possible with the time that you give each person. You have to control and be mindful of favoritism. One guy I was with, he thought it was going to impress me when Mother's Day came around. He's going to give me a gift because I'm a mother, but he wasn't going to give his wife a gift. I was just like, no. She literally gave you 2 kids. We're not doing that. Yeah, what men find to be used as showing off or impressive is confusing to me. But no, and the thing is, she's not just gave him children, she is the wife, she is the main chick. You, as a child, I'm just a side chick. You treat the main chick with the utmost respect.
My thing is,
Matt.
Yeah, I know.
May I say something to that, Bass? May I add to that? Is an ad.
Yeah.
I'm a first responder, and I have what's called vicarious trauma.
Okay.
Meaning, for those who don't know, I'm an ambulance EMT tech, and someone didn't survive in the car crash.
Oh.
And imagine I have an invisible backpack. I wear that trauma. I'm a police officer on a call for domestic abuse. It didn't go well. I wear that trauma. Military wear that trauma. So first responders wear this trauma. I come home to my wife. And the thing about my wife is she's my security. She's producing my future. Now, at the time we had kids, we were only having good sex. It was never intended to have kids. That was the byproduct of our sex. Second thing is the stimuli at the moment when she was like, yes, I want kids. That stimuli changed once she actually had kids and had to start dealing with the baby day to day to day to day. She didn't know what that stress was like. It totally changed. Think about how many moms say, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? I should have never had this little MFer. So yes, you have my kids, we have our family, and I actually kind of have you locked up in a case, not literally, but in my mind, you are my security, you are my foundation, you are think of it as locked in a case. So my side chick deals with all my bullshit while my wife is home protected. My side chick is the one that I want to say, thank you. You finally, man, I get to be, here's some flour. Did you get these for your wife? No, the ignorance is that I didn't. And the ignorance also is that you should get them and she shouldn't. There's reward in it though. And here's what I just want to add to it and tell me if it doesn't have to do anything for you. Here's what I want to add to it. I'm not speaking for that person, but some people in that situation that I see, the reason they said they celebrate the side chick is because guess what? You know that I'm married. You know all my flaws. You know all these different things about me, but you accept me for who I am. You accept me for my situation. I'm not just celebrating you just because some ass. I'm celebrating you because you are the one accepting my situation and still giving me time, energy, focus, love, X, Y, and Z. I just wanted to add that to what you're saying, like, it could be if they were celebrating you.
I was confused. Oh, it makes sense. It really makes sense.
Can I say this? Listen, like to Dr. Nakumbe's point, right? I don't think people really pay attention to the mindset that's developed in this so-called monogamous culture for children. Because you don't understand how many boys, because a lot of y'all women are boys, right? None of y'all are. You don't understand what boys be going through, preteen boys go through, because all of a sudden he's a bad human being because he likes more than one girl. You train these boys to not like women. And it forces them and put them in a position to where they got to start becoming liars at preteen, 2 girls to his mom. Because his mom will see him with one girl and go, oh, what about Stacy or April or whoever she's seen?
Yes.
And then he got to lie. Yeah, I like her, but he really likes Cynthia. He really likes Tiffany. He likes multiple people. So this boy is trained to be a liar because the status quo of women today, young girls as well, their self-worth, their identity, and their value system is monogamy. As when I was young, I was a terrorist. I ain't gonna say that about you. When I was young, when I was like 20, 21, 22, it used to terrorize it like blows my mind that you would ask these women all this vetting stuff that people be talking about, which I hate that word. It's verifying, it's not vetting. I'm asking that chick, what you want in a guy? What you like in a guy? Oh, I want to be the only one. I'm asking again, what you want in a guy? Oh, he got to make me the only one. What? What you mean? Not he got to be a good dad. He has to have integrity. He has to be punctual. It's the first 1 or 2 is he can't mess with no other bitch. I'm selfish. I don't share no dick. What?
Well, one thing you got to understand, Noble, like I think you tend to forget, women are conditioned to be sexually conservative. And teenage girls go through the same thing. Do you know I was horny as shit as a teenager, but felt this immense guilt about feeling something that is very much so natural. I should be feeling this now because I'm developing into a woman. My hormones are all over the place. Like I should be feeling horny as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But because they're so scared that the first thing I'm gonna do is run out and get a baby, or now she's gonna be a single mother. No. You're gonna go to hell if you have sex before you get married to your husband.
Mandrel don't seem to be too comfortable with this Shu Shu.
No,
she's
honest. Like, I just need men to understand.
Yeah.
Women aren't that different when it comes to things like this. Like, yeah, we feel the same thing.
No. Listen, but you have that's a good point.
And so to be like, yeah, but she wants me to be committed. Yeah, that's because we have been conditioned that the only man who should get access to our vagina is a man who is either our husband or at least at minimum committed to us.
Yes.
If he has a child with me, you see what I'm saying?
Shu Shu. I want the doctor to ask another question since she said that.
Hold on, real quick, OJ. Hold on. Your point is taken, but what I was speaking to specifically is that these boys will be guilt tripped, and they now think that they're a bad person because they like more than one person. Not that they're doing anything.
I'm telling you this.
And her point is that women are
feel the exact same way. The first time a woman gives herself to a man and he's not her husband, there is an immense amount of guilt after the fact.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I have done something completely wrong. When in actuality, that is a natural act. It's natural. A lot of times when men and women get married, a lot of times the wife, especially one who has been extremely indoctrinated in religion, tends to have issues in the bedroom because in the back of her mind, she has been programmed that sex is nasty, is dirty, it's evil. And the only person, if you have sex with anyone other than your husband, then your soul is going to hell. So once she gets in an environment where it is like religiously okay to engage in this, that switch doesn't turn off. She still has a problem being intimate with a man that she's supposed to be intimate with.
Yes. And Shu Shu, if I can add one ingredient to what you just cooked up. For the women, so gentlemen, please hear this. For the women who, actually both, for the women who have been violated as a child, and then they put that to the side and double down and say, just because that happened to me, that's not going to be me. I'm still going to preserve myself. I'm still going to protect myself for that one. So not only did you cheat on me, not only was it like, wow, really? Like, but the fact that I was already like forced to do something against my will and have it taken. Now I've focused. I stayed centered. I didn't get cooked. I didn't get tricked in the Kool-Aid, nothing. And I did all that sacrifice for what? Only to get with someone who burned me, betrayed me, and fucked me over. So it's like a double whammy. And sometimes we don't know women have these traumas. So for those who do, not everyone does, but 82% of the women do. 82% of the women do. So you have to take that into consideration too. It does not have to just be sexual abuse. It could be neglect. It could be abandonment that they've actually dealt with. And they're going to hold this body as this dome, this kingdom for their king. And then, wow, you violated me. I just wanted to add that to what you were saying.
I just want to say this because I heard her and I heard her out loud. All right. Me as a brother, yes, I got somebody washing dishes beside me, bro. I do run a business. So as for me, a brother who have had 11 sisters, I understand what you're saying, but what I want to say to that too, when we start talking about these other countries, and we're not just talking about countries in the Middle East, there's African countries who goes by the same policy. Let me just tell you, the men are taught the same thing as the women. So when you start talking about, see, this is where I say holistic runs in problems with orthodox medicine. Because what we feel sometimes is impressed in our DNA without somebody ever even saying it. As we know when we do something that we consider wrong without anybody ever even saying it. Or you ever heard it from anyone. So we got to put all that into effect too. So let me just deal with what you said though. and I want the doctor to chime in on them because I don't want to go too deep in this. I had to take a class, child care. And one of the things they discuss in child care, women discover themselves way before boys discover themselves. And this is a practice in child care where they tell child care takers, if you see the girl on the side of the bed, or you see the girl on a pillow, and we're talking about little girls. So see, we have wet dreams. I really don't know what women have. See, when we come into puberty, when we come into manhood, men have wet dreams. All right, boys have. I don't know if they still have them now with all this other bullshit going on. But when I was coming up, boys had wet dreams. I don't know what the hell they have today. But women discover themselves by friction. Girls discover themselves by friction. You'll learn this in child care. And you're taught not to even interrupt it. You just don't say nothing. You go back out of yes. Because you can stifle that. That's what you just said. And so y'all have a system of, y'all have a protocol how y'all discover yourself. We have a natural protocol how we discover ourselves. When you start having sons, I have 4 sons, and I had to damn near shoot them with a 38 to get their ass in the bathtub. But when your sons start taking baths 2 and 3 that day, you know they don't discover themselves. So, so what I'm saying is, I want the doctor to go in on it because I don't want y'all to think I'm saying something weird. Girls discover themselves. Huh?
My coworker dealt with the same thing because she has all boys. When that oldest one got older, no. He's like, I didn't know why he was going to the bathroom so much, but
yeah, they start taking baths 2 and 3 times a day. And I had my son come down. He was doing it so much. He thought his little wee had caught a cold. He said, "Dad, my thing caught a cold. It's sneezing down there." I was like, "Son, that ain't no cold."
What's going on?
What's happening?
Easy money. Talking about you speaking facts. He talking about
No, I'm just saying when they don't know. When they don't know, wait a minute. When you had snot to come out of your nose, and all of a sudden it start coming out of your penis, you think it's snot, and you think you having a cold, but it ain't a cold. It's just I can't explain it, bro. I'm not even gonna try to explain that, but that did happen.
We got it. You did it.
Okay. Okay.
You did it.
You 100%. The only thing I would add, and then go ahead.
Doc, would you please go in on that about how girls discover themselves? I really want you to go there because I don't think we talk enough about that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, well, you hit it on the nail. You hit it on the nail. But one of the challenges that goes with it, when the young girls don't understand what's going on, and please understand they have 2 different systems. So you have your vagina, and then you have the urethra. All that's in one for a male. So you have a system that's doing its own thing. So it's not like how come it has its own function. So a guy who would look down there and be like, is it because of when you have your own system, then you're kind of wondering why it's tingling. You're kind of wondering why it's doing what it, and why you feel this way, why your chest hurts. And it's all psychological also because you're developing breasts. The boys are running around snapping your bra, playing with you, but it's really a psychological warfare for you. And then females historically are pressured because they're the receivers, they're the birth givers. So they're pressured at a very early age with these sexual innuendos. So where the guy may not be teased or messed with or whatever, the females are. You walk across the room, we're looking at their butts, looking at this. They're being measured by their body. We're objectifying them at early ages. Now, it doesn't help when you have the parents who are putting them in Daisy Dukes and having them do the, all that stuff. But the female body is developed sooner. They sense sooner. And that also goes to Shu Shu's argument, like, wow, what you've been dealing with for the last 4 or 5 years, you little Nate boy, I've been dealing with for 10 years.
Certainly.
So there's a different section.
Don't let. I'm sorry, Dr. Nicole, but don't let the little girl develop. Be like because some girls develop more than others, faster than others. Right. Don't let it be a busty girl. You have all the older women and stuff like that shaming her like she fast
Yeah.
because her body has done a natural thing. It's developing what it
Right.
should be doing. But
Keep your
she
look. Oh, I'm sorry, Shijo. Go ahead.
trying to give it out.
Keep your little girls away from the swimming pool. That little blowout at the swimming pool. They'll discover themselves real fast on that one. So look, I'm just telling you things, provision that I kept my daughter from when she went swimming. I made sure that little blowout, she was nowhere close to it. Because I see a lot of little girls hanging around there. And so I made sure. See, these are the things you learn in childcare. And that's why I think every parent should go to a little parenting school or something like that. Because you don't be thinking about stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, gee, you learned that in pimpology. Stop it.
Right.
No.
What were you gonna say? World class? What were you gonna say? World class?
What I was saying is what Shu Shu explained in every culture. Women and young women being chaste as much as possible is always the thing. What I'm speaking to is the added dysfunction that comes with this particular culture called monogamy, where boy's confidence is being attacked because he's called a bad person. Can't emphasize this enough. He's talked to and taught that he's a bad person because he likes women. And we'll also at the same time complain about the alphabet community because the alphabet community teaches you to not like women, right? That that it's like, I don't understand how it's not like easy to see that this culture called monogamy is like the breeding ground for the homosexual community that we have. You training boys not to like women, telling them that they're bad people. And like you explained, Doc, that's why I said it simply put, all life is poly. In every other situation in life, if you breathe once, if you breathe mono, you'll die. If you eat once in your life, you'll die. Nothing in your life is mono. Everything in your life is poly. The atoms, the air you're breathing, the cells that you're using. This is what the craziest thing in life is. These same brown-skinned people that claim to be black and come from Africa, et cetera, the genes you have right now was preserved in polygamy. You would not look like you do.
Your point is valid, but the whole thing is, I don't think that is really the destruction that you keep on speaking to. The destruction is the lack of trust.
The destruction
is the lack of trust.
No, the destruction is an organism at war with itself is dead. Let's speak to the reality and the real face of monogamy. When a girl doesn't feel, not whether she has evidence or not, when a girl doesn't feel that she's the only one, or she's not satisfied, aka happy, then she will destroy her family. Isn't this what y'all talk about? The nuclear family being the foundation of your relationship. They'll destroy simply.
If we being honest, like, because bottom line is women aren't naturally monogamous either.
Yeah, so, exactly.
And that's the point.
Because a woman will do the same thing. Like, if she it feels like, hey, is a guy out there better, or like, hey, is a dude coming along, my man ain't giving me what I want, he not fulfilling this need, he ain't doing what he once did. Here is this other dude coming along, and he seems to be stepping it up. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, she's not inspired to destroy her family when she wants to find better. She destroys his. When he finds better, then it's okay for her to break cars, alienate the child from the family, we talk. But whenever the monogamous pipe dream is interrupted with her, she can destroy people and attack everything. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's unfair, because so can he. And we do it often, and we don't take heed and responsibility to that.
Well, yeah, I don't think this conversation is about responsibility, right? I mean, there's part of it is, Sean, I don't do conversion therapy, but when I see polygamous couples, and I say, oh, polyamorous, you weren't poly? No. Well, he converted you. And how did he convert you? He said this. Shu Shu, if I may just use you as an example, have you ever been? You don't have to tell me personally. Just say, have you ever been cheated on?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's say Shu Shu just gave me all the business about she would never. I would never. That shit you do, I would never. She just finished telling me all that. How long were you being cheated on? How long did it go? How long did he cheat on you?
How long has he done it?
Before you find out, how long was it going?
Oh God.
You can pick any number.
Maybe like a month, I guess. Before I actually looked into because for me, before I like accuse somebody, I need like hard, solid evidence. So I'd be like, now, what? Let's talk about this.
Right.
What you mean? Let's talk about this.
Right.
Because there's no room for like, oh, this playing this mental game. Like, what do you mean? Like, no. I mean this. This is what I mean.
Right. So Sean, my client would say this to Shu Shu. Because an hour ago you were telling me you would never, ever, ever, ever be with a man who has more than one. You would never, ever, ever be with a man who has more than one. But for a minimum of a month, you have. For a minimum of a month, you have had more than one man. And you had a man who had more than one woman. I didn't know about, no, I'd ask if you knew. For the last month, you have been with a man who has more than one. If it was 1 year, 1 month, 2 years. And then that pimp also would add this. And the entire time before you found out, you were happy. In fact, when you asked me, how did you do it? I didn't even. When you said,
how you figure it out in the first place is because they start moving different.
How you find out is one thing. The fact that you actually were in that relationship for that period of time where there was more than one disputes, it just smashes your whole thing of, I would never be with a. See, it's the idea, Sean. It's the idea of only dick, only this, only. Is that idea of what love is supposed to be? Is an ideology. And the second that's broken, and they realize, holy shit, you mean I have been poly with, baby? I remember your best friend Shaniqua, man. Listen. So it's much deeper. Thank you.
So I'll say this: like I am with men being men. Mandrell knows this. We don't do the lying crap over here. If you commit to that woman, and you tell that woman you want to be with her and only her. One, I got a lot of things. Don't come to me complaining if you're validating her selfishness, and she told you that's the foundation of who she is. Two, as a man, if you tell her something, you got an obligation to run through that. And you got to do that. You got to live that through. We don't condone liars around here. So I will never support a so-called monogamous male cheating on his girl. So-called, I hate that term, but lying and breaking his trust and breaking his word. Because how I was raised, I'm from Liberty Heights in Gwinnett, Northwest Baltimore. Your word is your bond. If you can't be trusted with your word, you can't be trusted around me at all. You'll steal, you'll kill, you'll do anything. So I don't have a problem with women holding these dudes accountable. I just have a problem with y'all acting like he's the one that's cheating and you're not. Because you know these dudes. And this is the thing that's disrespectful about it. Y'all know men don't want to be with one woman. If your life depended on it, you had to answer the question. Either you tell the truth or you live, you lie, you die. Do men want to be with one woman? No. But you will push it and force it. Now, cool. He'll accept it. But if a nigga do that to you, if he do that to you, then you're a bad person. I'm not particularly talking about Bass or Shu Shu because we know y'all cool. But the average chick around here, you know this shit ain't right. So you were cheating off top. So when he goes to cheat, it's fair game. I don't want to hear it. You know, y'all know your life. You know niggas don't want to be with one chick. You know that, but you will push him in this. You got to look at what transpired when you have these monogamous conversations. What preserves these relationships? Shame. Not many times can you have a monogamous person explain their position without insults. Guilt. Shame and the need to be right. I've never in my life heard a monogamous person, if it was a business, like a sales situation, argue it without talking about another company. What's in it for this person? Like when you really sit and look at it and how it's maintained, it's highly disrespectful and disingenuous. So, if nothing else, y'all need to reinvent and like favorite word I'm gonna be pushing out, innovate your monogamous culture. Because like you said, it has a place. Everything has a place. Even hate has a place. I'm learning that. So everything has a place. So I have to innovate because it's not working. And you can't argue that it is. Because there's not too many people that's with one person. You don't find these relationships for what monogamy is. You don't have a choice on what it is because monogamy existed before you existed. It's from the 1600s. Monogamy is marrying once in a lifetime. That's what it is. You don't know a lot of relationships like that. And then what you do have is a lot of serial monogamists. You in 47 different monogamous relationships. And like I said, and I meant it, when you think about a chick that's or any type of person that's a whore, you don't think of those cultures of polygamy, whether it's Islam or not Islam. You think of these people that push monogamy the most. The whole culture is coming from monogamy. Because it's no different from any other business venture, any other thing you want to do. If I don't think I'm going to be able to get what I want, fuck it. I'm just going to stop going to this school. I don't give a fuck about it. I'll quit if I'm going to this school. Fuck this job. That's what people be doing in these monogamy situations. And then those are the people that's going to cheat the most. The ones that wanted it, that were really trying to do it from the beginning, they fail, and then they get treacherous. Because if my value system, and I'm in it here, if my value system is I want to be the only one, if I now flip and become the villain, I want to make sure you don't be the only one. A lot of these chicks be fucking their homegirl's husband and baby daddies and boyfriends, because it flips like that. When you get this in your mind that you're not good enough to be the only one, it flips. So how often do you think that's happening? That's happening a lot. So y'all need to have a conversation, do some monogamous summits, and start really getting honest about what's going on. Like, look, y'all making us look bad, and have a true conversation with each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Why everybody take my talking time and get to see the words. I hear I drop a lot of jam, which is interesting.
Right.
So my real thought will be, would there be a part 2 to this show? Because it don't seem like this title is meant for one show alone.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I had to be honest, I'm being logical and technical of it. World Class dropped some serious jam. Corey did also. OG did the same thing as well, and Dr. McCombie did an excellent job to dissect everything that was really going on. Because looking at the dynamic of what's going on, keyword ideology. This is why when we had the conversation before the show started, I said the US of A don't have the fundamental foundation to practice polygamy. But there's a lot of hypocrisy that goes on. That's why African and non-African, either they're Islamic or not, we laugh at people when we want to copy something that we have a deep-rooted culture in it. It's the problem. Polygamy, I hate to say that, it in the open, no one trying to lie when they practice polygamy. They let you know off the back. When you marry the man, the mother is letting you know. This is how we do it in our family. We're not going to be the second, third, or fourth wife to that man's father. They're schooling the woman who married to the son. We let you know, if our son were to marry another woman, it will happen. You cannot argue the fact. This is something that a lot of American women do not comprehend. Why you think Ankon got made of more than one wife? And it kind of like shocked them. Like, come on. You're bringing your anecdotal or whack U.S. ideology that constantly change almost every 5 or every 2 years, which is not consistent. And when compared with a culture have been consistent for more than 100, more than 1,000 years.
Good point.
But you want to tell us that what we practice don't make sense, but it look like a mental food salad. 2 years ago, no, correction, 5 years ago, it's the platinum, you know what? I got the magic. Now all of a sudden, it did BS just practice. Like, come on, make it make sense. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys throughout last year. Your value system, your so-called culture, is beyond track because one is not consistent. Consistency is key. When you constantly changing your culture like you change your underwear, that means something wrong with the damn soul they be bathing with. Okay. I'm going African mode. That's why I had the hat on, because I had to beat you guys with African truth.
I love that.
I want to say
I love that.
You have in this country, you have religious rights, and people will be saying this is illegal and that's illegal. Listen, if it's in the culture of Islam to practice polygamy, then you can practice polygamy in the public. People have a misunderstanding of what a marriage certificate is, and they don't understand the foundation of law, which is there's public law and then that's private law. And religion falls in both, and you can have the way you live, even in Satanism, they even have it too. That's why people need to research, because they're doing everything. You can have the way you live in the private. That's where most of the people, like the private sector, that's what that's for. So people that operate in the private, people understand it's business and trust, can live the way that they want to live and still have the same effects that you get from the public contracts, like marriage certificates and stuff like that. So it's not accurate that it's illegal. It's polygamy may be illegal, but it's still law.
No, let me correct that. Polygamy is only illegal to the American law when you have a bunch of people picking and choosing what will benefit them or how they can make money off it. This is why for the past 2 decades it's been heavily documented. A lot of people who have left the U.S. never came back and found out the U.S. ideology is full of trash. They're living in other countries that have consistent ideology, not constantly changing it, and you change your underwear and they enjoy it with it over there. This is what I've been observing. Let you travel out and you live outside the country. I didn't say visit. Visiting the country and living in the country is 2 different things. So all the jabroni and the monkeys out there who think we know other countries, but never take the time out. I'm going in. I'm going in. Bare knuckles. When you don't go out there and experience these people ideology and their culture and realize it has a solid foundation compared to how you build your ideology on clay. So when the storm hit, it washed away. Period. I'm just being 100 pure bare knuckle you got with the facts.
I've never heard nobody use jabroni in a real conversation.
Is it final thoughts?
Yeah. I was just about to say we moving into final thoughts, y'all.
Okay, so this is my final thought. I gotta go feed some people. Look here. We live in a country where people don't even know when to stop to eat. That's the country we live in. All right, and that's due to I died in Western society. Now, somebody can come along and say it's triggered by mindset, it's triggered by this, it's triggered by that. That's where we at, okay? So, my thing is, I was probably one of the biggest whores of South of Texas back in the 70s and 80s, all right? And that's my true confession. But what I'm saying is, nobody had to retrain me. I knew what I was doing. Even when I was doing it, I knew there was an inner voice inside of me that said to me, hey, you know what you're doing is not right. Okay? But that's what we do in this free world that we're supposed to live in, is how we've been dictated to be able to, welcome to America, be any kind of freak you want to be. That's where we at, people. And so I'm not going to get into argument what works for one marriage versus a next marriage. But what I'm saying is a lot of things that I consider as being natural was not natural. No more natural is your child want to eat the candy before they want to eat their meal. That's not natural. That's just that sugar gravitation until that when you give them sweets, they know what it tastes like. And so they would prefer to eat the sugar before they eat the vegetables. They would prefer to eat the Pop-Tarts before they eat a decent meal. All the other junk food we eat today. So I'm just put it this way. I have been lucky enough in my life to come from nothing to be able to travel the world. And I'm saying what I seen after the 80s in other countries, it made me rethink. And I'm glad the Nation of Islam got a hold of me. And I'm glad that I was able to revisit what I thought was natural is just as unnatural for me today than the natural stuff I thought was natural back in the day. And so I think it's all in the mindset and what you approach in life and what you want to do in life. I'm never going to stop somebody who wants to have 2 wives, 3 wives. But I think you're a lying piece of shit if you tell a woman that you go be a one-on-one, and same as a woman, I think she's a lying piece of shit if she's telling you she go be one-on-one and that ain't the bond y'all really have. I think each is on, do what you need to do, but understand the person that you're dealing with. You don't have to go by practice. It's on you to build that relationship, to build it the way you want to. And you have to take the results of what you tell her, and she has to take the results of what she tells you. It's just that plain and simple. But don't say something is natural, because I believe we live in this country in an unnatural state. We are dominated by another culture of people. I mean, animals is animals. Not all human beings are the same. They don't have the same practice. And you got to understand, 98% of our practice we get from someone else. And that's all I got to say.
Well, thank you, OG. See, OG still learning.
Yeah, OG still learning.
Oh, wait a minute. Before I leave, me and Mandrell, we gonna start talking about this dick dodging. You ain't gonna get away from that conversation.
Wow.
Yeah. No. We talk. No, pause. Then we're talking about countries that women do not have after the first trimester. They don't have sex after they become pregnant, versus countries that have the freedom to have sex all the way up to the 9th month. We gonna say, well, I want to ask the doctor the chemical. No. Listen what I'm saying, bro. Will you start saying what? All right. The chemical that the woman releases when she gets excited. What hormones is she releasing to that baby while she's having sex? And that's why a lot of countries don't have sex once the woman get pregnant. What effects do it has on that baby? And I'm saying is, I look at other countries. This is why we got to have this conversation. I look at other countries, and I look at the boys when they are raised up. They don't have them female qualities. I'm not talking about somebody who decide they go be gay. I'm talking about just the gestures, the way they do their wrists and everything. You find that in more of a Western society than you do other societies. And I think that has a lot to do with when you are having sex with a woman, what hormones she's releasing to that baby. Is it overcharged? Is it too many female hormones to that baby child that might be a male in her stomach? I think that has to be researched. I think outside the box. I think outside the box. Bro, I think outside the box.
You got a good point.
That's a very good point.
Orgasmic bursts.
That's a very good point. But what I would say is that, we say in Western society versus outside or Eastern and other places, a lot of those places have had and been conditioned to have rules that are against that are consequential to death and things of that nature. So they will not show those tendencies or those attributes that you're referring to naturally.
Right. I just want to have that conversation because I don't think the Western society do enough studies. You got to understand what we are dealing with now in that community with the ABC Jumping Jack crew. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying now, there has to be a reason, even though that person has never been exposed to other people from that community. They have these, the little boys, Mandrell, you wouldn't play with. I know the little boys I wouldn't play with. And
bro, I ain't playing with nobody now.
No. Listen what I'm saying, Mandrell.
He didn't say.
I say you. No. I'm saying we know the guys that we like. That guy act kind of weird. We ain't playing with him. He can't be part of it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we got this so much in our country. We got to figure out. It got to be more than the plastic that we drinking water. It's got to be more than just one thing. And I say there's never been enough study on what happens when you're having sex with your woman up to the 8th and 9th month. What hormones she's releasing to that baby, because she is releasing hormones, and most of them are feminine hormones.
Hey,
wow.
You should talk with
cool. Who is next on the final thoughts?
You should talk with the midwives who do orgasmic births, because that's
nice. Okay, thank you, DP. Now,
what?
Whatever. I'm trying to close this show out. Who is next, Shu?
You.
Who is next?
Let's just go across the line and just go like.
Okay. You got 60 seconds. Cross the line. Who's first?
Let's just go world class, Corey.
Yeah.
Already what?
He already went. Cool. Corey Hager, what you got? 60 seconds.
I know.
Light skin
Dick dodging. Good Lord. Listen, this is my fault? No.
Yes.
It's
your fault.
Son, end this.
That's your mentor.
It is.
All right. Find one woman, become friends for life, grow old together, watch each other wrinkle, stay friends, whatever, have good arguments, make up later, just live life, sit on the beach, put your feet in the sand, be happy, smile, annoy each other when you want to. Just live. All this other stuff it's going to melt your brain. Anyway, that was my final thought.
Thank you very much, Cody Harry. Hey, guys, 36 seconds. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now, let's see if we can do the Black David. Can you do the impossible? Okay, I'm gonna need you to. Okay, Black David. In 30 seconds.
Shit.
And I am timing
it. Shit.
It's terrible.
And go.
You muted.
60 seconds. You muted. You muted. Unmute yourself. You have 60 seconds. Go.
Mandrel is too short. He sit on a high chair.
Mm-hmm.
He threw on a pacifier. His head bigger than mine.
Right.
Damn.
Other than that, this has been a great show. This should be a part 2. And the light skin butter till the dark skin butter.
That's a fact.
Hello. Yeah, whatever. 14 seconds, a new world record. Holy shit. Take yourself down. Beautifully animated. There you go. That's it. That's the one.
This your part 2.
60 seconds. Ma'am, madam. And go.
Did not show her time. That's crazy.
I showed Black David.
Well, it's not my time until I get solo, right?
Your time is your time. You can spend it however you like.
No, I mean you gotta be y'all people gotta like get to know yourselves and stuff like that. Do your homework and research on yourselves. Where's my solo screen? God dang it. Thank you. No, but seriously, like get to know yourselves. And only by doing that can you know what you want in your life, in your journey, and in your relationships. And then by doing so, you're also going to be honest with yourself, which will lead you to be honest with others in your goal to find the right relationship for you in whatever relationship you have with your family, with your friends, and with your significant other or others. So you have to be honest about what type of relationship you want. So you don't have to lie and cheat. You can find the right people for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Beautifully animated. That was 1 minute, 26 seconds. You went over your time, and there will be a penalty. Not tonight, though. No penalty tonight. No, we don't have the time. Dr. Nakumbi.
30 seconds. Here you go. Ready?
Not 30 seconds. You got 60.
All right. So please consider how you were wired as a child. So the things you did on your own and the things that were introduced or influenced by blah, 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 patterns that help to develop your core beliefs, your values, and the way you operate, and how they are still impacting you as an adult, and how you value your body or not, and your relationships. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
23 seconds. Not bad. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your commentary on tonight's show earlier tonight. Who is this?
That would be me.
Oh, Sean. Okay, my bad, Sean. There's no name, no avatar, nothing. But anyway, 60 seconds, brother. Final thoughts. What you got? Thank you for coming, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I've heard pimpology, psychology, monogamy.
Yes.
And the core of it all is honesty.
Yes.
That's what usually is missing out of all of those actually having some success. And I think if we factor more on that, whatever your choice is in any of those arenas can be a lot more successful when you are doing it from the core of being honest and being true to whatever, as Bass just said as well.
Right.
Is that it? Thank you very much,
Yeah,
son.
I got
Appreciate it.
20 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm respecting your time and your platform, brother.
no
and
problem.
sis.
I actually said, just 60 seconds I was giving you, but yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I mean, we closed the show early. Yes. Now, yeah, but you can pull us back. There you go. I guess you pay for what you get, right?
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, what you got on this? That's not your key to come up. No one wants to see you.
What do I have?
You're not paying my check. Cut it.
See? I told you, you pay for what you get.
So are we wired
like
to
I said, you ain't paying me. Cut it out.
Yeah, you hired cheap labor. This is what you
basically
get.
So if you back to the show topic, are we wired to cheat? And at the beginning of the show, we were talking about, is monogamy natural or not? I think that we can be monogamous if we so choose to be, but we also have an aspect of us that we still have attraction for other people. Like, that doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? And yes, we do build attachments and we do build pair bonds, but we build all kind of bonds and pair bonds with other people, not just with in our relationships. You have a pair bond with your mom, you have a pair bond with your dad, you have a pair bond with your siblings, you have a pair bond with like friends. So like you have all kind of bonds in your life, and they can be with multiple people. But I think, long story short, it just boils down to the kind of lifestyle you want to live, the kind of relationship you want to have, and that's something that you have to decide for yourself. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think everybody said it. I mean, like, bottom line is honesty. You know, if the other person is consenting, then it's not cheating. It's okay. You know, because it's two consenting adults, and the other person is consenting to whatever's going on. Okay.
Right.
And earlier, I was speaking to the weirdos in YouTube who talk all this stuff. They want polygamy, they want polyamory, and they have no clue what comes with it.
Yeah.
I actually don't even really know what it is. That's what I mean by arrogant, lazy, and weak. That coming out, just so I'm clear, so no one else misunderstands me, you know, and all that. I'm not taking a dig at people who are actually qualified to handle a relationship or a marriage like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you qualify to do it and everybody's on board, say la vie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the most important thing. Everybody has to be on the same page.
Yeah, everyone has to be on the same page,
That's
man.
the most important thing.
Yeah, like Sean said, the most important thing here is honesty.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would want more than one woman in your life in that way. But again, that's just me, and it's just not for me. But I don't judge other people who do. I don't call them bad people because they do it and they're able to care for more than one wife. They're able to provide and protect more than one wife. And everyone's on board. Fair enough. Hey, more power to you. But you're a poser and you're just doing it just because you're being greedy, like these weirdos on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're just being greedy. They want the option to do that, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Which is ludicrous. You know, those are the guys I'm talking to. Like I told you, me and Tommy B was talking to one dude who asked us was his simp behavior to get your hair cut and wear nice clothes to attract women.
No.
So you're not doing. So wait, you're telling me you don't do the things that it takes to attract women, but you're pissed off at women for not being attracted to you?
Right. Well, every animal in the animal kingdom has something that they do
to attract the opposite sex.
Opposite sex,
Peacocks got the feathers.
Right.
Gorillas got the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Deer, they fight. Bears, they fight.
Right.
It's strength in a lot of cases like that, but they're doing something to impress the female so that the female can choose them, because the men have already chosen the female.
Yeah.
So if there's two men who've chosen the same female, all right, now we got to duke it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go to fisticuffs, partner.
Right.
So,
and I guess it gives reference to may the best man or male win.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I mean, but
and that's the way it is in all the other animal kingdoms, and it's no different with us.
Right. Shout out to Dr. Nakumbi again for his fantastic commentary and contribution to tonight's show. Shout out to OG J Speed the Ghost, OG still learning. Corey Hager, he dropped some jewels tonight too. Noble, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why you want it. Why you want polygamy and polyamory? I don't know why you want it. I don't get it, man. I don't. He advocates for it though. He advocates for it.
Like the right of women. So hey, that's
fair enough. Hey, look, if he wants those options, Noble, you can have them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone out there, you can have them if that's what you want. I just don't understand it. Maybe you guys can help me understand. It's just you're my sister, and I love you. And you're not even doing anything. But
right. But I what?
But you're there.
There what?
You're just there, and you get on my nerves. I'm at your place, and you get on my nerves, and you ain't done nothing.
Right.
I'm joking, but I'm just saying, like, fellas. I mean, be careful what you wish for. Is all I'm saying. That sounds like just a bag of cats to me.
Right.
Just be responsible, gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. And ladies, I'm gonna pray for you.
Right.
And just for the record, people, we would not be talking about the dick dodging that JCP brought up. Well, unless she wants to. I don't know. He mentioned it to me. He told me to pitch it to you over the phone. He called me up. He literally called me up and told me to pitch that to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
We'll talk about it, but definitely this was a actual wonderful conversation.
It was.
It does give more light to relationship styles and And
I wanted to ask Dr. to come to some. He says we're conditioned to be this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're conditioned that way, I'm not entirely sure that means that we're wired that way. That would have been a brilliant question to ask him while he was here. Sorry, Doc. If you're backstage, I'll ask you back there. Sorry, audience. You guys are going to miss that because you're not going to be back there for after the show because you didn't click the link. But you can go back and click the link now and go to the after show.
Have this conversation again because it's a lot to discuss.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm here for it.
But that's all we have for this week. Y'all make sure y'all join us again next Wednesday evening, right here on the Blackman Unfiltered Network. Thank you all, everyone in the chat, for just all your thoughts and your words in the chat. Thank you for everybody who came up on the panel, and we will see you guys next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, those were excellent shows. If you missed the show, see what those we want. Part 2, like the truck comment. Mandrel and Shu Shu.
Pillar of fire by night and a pillar of vapor by day. Walk through the desert, but when you admire the light, see the villains are paper mache. I'm on the way to the promised land, no contraband. I'm an honest man, I'm coming. Have y'all met me? I'm set free, playing my part like the Red Sea. Man, I'm from heaven, I'm here with my brethren. The volume's 11, now we're getting rowdy. Swing from the scaffolding, spiritual happenings, miracles are all around me. This ain't no balcony, I'm in the front.